everybody, welcome back. Just getting everything set up here. Wanted to do a little bit of a earlier stream today. Welcome there, Tina. Check on her real quick. I went ahead and tweeted out everything, but I wasn't sure who all was going to get the notifications, who all was going to be here. So just kind of doing a little bit of a test stream here. Not really a test stream, I guess, but our first stream after I've got everything set back up here at the command center. And yeah, been doing a bunch of cable management. Haven't gotten everything completed, but I figured instead of waiting until I had everything done, what I would do instead was to go live here for a little bit and hang out for a little bit and see if anybody wanted to hang out over here on the stream. And if anybody has any time, then we'll do that. I know it is still a little bit early. A lot of people probably aren't off of work yet. So if not a lot of people are able to join in, I may just end up doing a stream a little bit later on tonight or something like that. So we'll see how it goes here, though, for a little bit. But yeah, welcome to some of you here that are beginning to stream in. And no pun intended, but hey there again, Tina and then Colleen. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you guys here. So I am officially back from the Alabama trip. Had a lot of fun down there with the guys, and I have been slowly getting those episodes completed and uploaded for you guys to check out, which is now 4 episodes, but not 4 complete episodes with the guys. I obviously sprinkled in some other stuff in there, and same thing is going to be happening. Let's see, actually, are we... Let's see. Yeah, we got 4 episodes up now. Yeah, because I was trying to think there for a minute how we did it, because we had the abandoned house that came out first, and then we had the sort of 2 abandoned houses in the woods that were the part of the fail episode, which was a lot of fun, and that's why I ended up including that. And then the next weekend we had the Fan Explore, which just came out yesterday, obviously, and the first cemetery exploration, which was the military pet cemetery, and so that was really an interesting place to check out. And then next weekend we should have another cemetery exploration, as well as again a collaboration that I did with the guys from Urban Ghost Urban Exploration. So lots of fun stuff that's going to be coming out here over the next few weeks, and lots more with the guys. So looking forward to releasing all of that. So yeah, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Hold on just a second. I got to check what. Okay, just had to make sure I had the right camera turned on there for a second. That's a little bit better. Okay. So, yeah, it was a really good trip. Had a lot of fun. All the guys are really great. Joe and Rob, I've known for a long time. Well, not a long time, but in terms of our YouTube careers, we've known each other for a while. And then Todd I'm getting to know from the Holy Walkers, and he's a really cool guy. And I enjoyed hanging out with him and getting to know him in person, and that was really cool. So I'm really happy that he came along. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to come or not, but I had made sure to tell the guys that it was completely cool if he came, and not that that was really up to me or anything, but I wanted to make sure that he knew that he was welcome as well. But that turned out really great, and Todd's a really cool guy too. And so if any of you have not checked out his channel, make sure to check out his channel too, the Holy Walkers, which I believe he runs with his wife and son. But I know, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, he might have 2 sons. I can't remember exactly. I'm trying to remember everything. I'm bad at names and all that, but I know that he has a son that has his own channel as well. So Yeah, the graveyard videos are all on my own. So the pet cemetery that I just did, it was on my own, and then the cemetery that I will be doing next weekend is on my own as well. And yeah, and then I have a few other short trips I'm going to be doing here. Probably starting this coming weekend, I'm going to head down south for a little bit. Not even nearly as far as what I did last time. Probably southern Indiana, and do some filming down there for like a day or two. Maybe not even that. Maybe just sort of probably just going down there for the day, filming whatever I can that day, waking up the next morning, filming a little bit, and then heading back and just making a short little road trip out of it. And so that's kind of my plan here for the next few weeks to make a few different short trips like that. One to southern Indiana, one to Kentucky. I might do one to Michigan as well if I have time. It just really depends on everybody and what's going on. I have a bunch of moving parts right now to a bunch of different travel plans, and so that's what I'm sort of trying to work out, where all the puzzle pieces fit together and when I'm going to do what. So while I'm still in the planning phase of a lot of the bigger stuff, I'm going to just sneak in as many little random trips as I possibly can to some of these really cool places that I like to make it to, like the mausoleums and stuff. And so I've got a few different mausoleum episodes that I want to film here in the near future. And so that's what I'm trying to sort of work in here and pick out a few different really cool locations that I can hit up in some like one-day trips here and there, either on the weekends or maybe even throughout the week. You never know. I mean, I can kind of just pop in and out. Yeah, I'm starting to stay a lot busier. I'm doing a lot more travel plans, doing hopefully a lot more smaller trips right now, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, as the channel grows, I'm just going to start doing more and more. And since the channel's had a lot of really good growth and we've been getting a lot of positive feedback on the episodes, I'm definitely going to try and continue to up the ante more and more. So, hey there, Emmy, welcome. Karen, welcome. Welcome, Jennifer. Welcome, Bronx Boy. Let's see here. I forgot I should be able... There we go. I finally figured out the zoom. It won't zoom with my hotkeys on the chat window, but it will let me manually zoom with the menu, which is interesting. I don't know why they're being picky about it. Still could be a little bit interesting. The camera is slightly blocking the chat window, so I'm going to try and do my best. But I was trying to maybe pull it up over here. I got my tablet set up. It's not really visible until I hit it, so I don't even know if anybody really noticed it sitting over there. But I've got that set up too, so I might try and use that. But it's not really at a great angle to kind of... Ooh, is my volume... I hope I'm... Okay, let's try and adjust my microphone there. Okay, so... All right, let me catch up on everything. Yeah, so immediately after I left Alabama, it got hit by a lot of the worst storms that it's seen this season. Lots of tornadoes, lots of destruction, and so I got really lucky. I literally left like a day or two before everything started happening, And had I stayed any longer, it would have been a lot different situation, and would have affected, I believe, the way that I took home, which was just north of Birmingham. So I did cut over a little bit through the country instead of going directly to Birmingham and then north. So I might have been able to avoid some of the destruction, but I really don't know at this point, and I'm just happy that I wasn't caught up in it. But I definitely feel for all those people that are going through that right now, and that's got to be a rough situation. So, hey there, Laura. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome, Karen. Family's doing good. Dad's doing good. Mom's doing good. Everybody's doing fine. Thank you. Appreciate you asking. I'm going to try and move the chat over. I know that's going to cause me to look over a little bit more, but if I expand it too, I can make it brighter. Yeah, that looks better too. Oh, I can see that. In fact, that might be even better. Cool. That actually looks perfect. So yeah, everybody's doing great. Gonna be doing some more travels down to Kentucky and Tennessee this year with my dad and with a cousin of mine as well that lives in Cincinnati. And we're going to be doing some exploring down there. And then I might actually go over into Maryland to one of our very own family cemeteries to check out how that's doing. We were some of the first people to encounter it in a very long time a few years ago. Not actually including me. Melissa Smith, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Maria, thanks for coming to the live stream. Appreciate you. Tammy, good to have you. Sorry if I'm saying anybody's name twice. Occasionally I will make that mistake. So, and some windy weather in the UK as well. Yeah, it's been really picking up around here. Alabama and Missouri and what else? There's another state. Was it Mississippi maybe that got hit, I think? And yeah, lots of tornadoes, crazy weather. We're definitely in the tornado area up here, so it's making me a little bit nervous. We've got nothing but strong winds so far, so I'm kind of hoping for the best. We haven't had any warnings that I'm known of, so we'll see what happens. But what part of Maryland, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't been to this place myself. This is something that my mom and dad did it years ago by themselves with another couple members of my family after we had just discovered that it existed. And I guess a farmer had been caring for it for years and had taken fairly good care of it. Obviously, there was some maintenance that needed to be done, but for having no one there that he was related to, he apparently had done a decent job of making sure that it wasn't lost altogether. So many thanks going out to him for doing that. So he is aware now of our existence, and my parents had mentioned being interested in including it, and I said that would be fine, and so that may happen here. I'm not sure exactly when. Maybe this year. Time. If the time is there, if their time is there, obviously I'll have the time. This is a big part of what I do now, so I'll make the time. And if they have the time, then we'll definitely do it. Otherwise, it'll be early next year probably. But most likely, I would say probably this year. It's not a big place, and a lot of people don't know that the graveyard. I'm not sure exactly how the misconception gets out there, but I've gotten a few, not from any of you guys, but I've gotten a few negative comments on the graveyard that I did in Kentucky, and I don't think a lot of people really understand that too is sort of my family's graveyard. I have direct, not descendants, but direct ancestors that live. Wow, I'm really messing up. Anyway, but that are buried in that place, and so a lot of people were asking why I would dare go in that place without permission, or and it's like because this is literally my family. So, not that I probably have to set that record straight to anybody on here, but if anybody ever watches in the future and is wondering, and that maybe we'll settle that argument once and for all. So. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I've done one other pet cemetery before, but it wasn't a military pet cemetery. And I thought it was really interesting that it was specifically designed for military pets and possibly service animals. There wasn't really much mention, as I said in the video. So I would love to do a meet and greet in Maryland. I don't know exactly the logistics on all of that. If it's something that I feel is a possibility, I would definitely do it, though. I'm trying to connect that comment. Are we talking about if I see Kyle and Ethan? Is that Todd's sons, maybe? Or is that maybe? I'm trying to remember everybody's names. I should probably just go look it up. I have a tablet right here now. That's sort of what that is for. A group name. If you're talking about like a fan name, is that like? If that's the case, I will let you guys choose that. I'm definitely not gonna be one of those YouTubers that like puts a specific name out there. So I mean, if there's something that you guys think you like and you want to say that, then that's absolutely cool. But I will leave that up. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I get my brain and names is a bad thing, so I apologize. And definitely to Todd and all of the guys, because it's gonna take me a while to remember the guy. Obviously I got all the guys' names down, but I mean now to remember kids' names and everybody else's names, it's crazy. Urban Man 2015. Well, yeah, I need to get out there. I'd be dodging tornadoes though right now. But I suppose that would be this would probably be the prime time to actually come out and visit you. Yeah, we can accept votes. I could put a vote up in Twitter. I don't know if everybody that's on the chat right now. Sorry if that's screwing up the audio. I know I do, like I said, fidget a lot, but I'm trying to improve the audio quality. Today I'm sitting down, which I hope is helping. Yeah, I need to do some storm hunting. Or not storm, storm chasing. Elizabeth Barch, hello. Welcome. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us here in the live stream. Doing a early live stream today. I'm usually more of the late night streaming type. A lot of times I don't even start until midnight. So this is kind of a rarity for us. And so I'm going to actually start trying to do this a lot more often, though. I do like the earlier streams. It's just been a lot of different stuff going on in the background. Nothing like bad or anything like that. Just planning and getting the channels and everything to where I needed them to be, and getting the command center to where I needed it to be. I've gotten a lot of stuff done in the background, and both literally and figuratively. Including, I don't know, let's see if I can move here for a second, but I got some of the flag finished. I got a couple coats of the silver paint on the skull, so you can kind of see it. I'm going to get better lighting here too, but The skull actually is mostly silver now, and then the lettering and the eye patch are gold, and then the teeth are pretty much 100% gold now, and then the bones at the bottom are obviously going to be completely silver. They're mostly, well, I shouldn't say mostly, they're partially silver right now. I need to rearrange some of I've got bags and things hanging in the background, well, behind it, I mean, so that I don't stain the walls through the flags. So obviously I'm going to have to make sure that certain parts of the bones at the bottom, which are sticking out from behind where the bags are covered, so that I don't paint my wall partially metallic silver. So that would be not a fun thing. I shouldn't say that. That would be a fun thing if I did the entire wall, but I am not doing metallic walls at this point. Thank you, Melinda. So, yeah, the flag has a little bit of edging to get done. I have some other painting to do. I'm going to be putting some more glow paint around on different things. And again, I'm going to be upgrading the lighting. I need to get a spotlight. I'm going to get a black light that's a spotlight so that it shines directly onto the flag and it lights it up better. And then I want to get some kind of maybe real small white light to just add a little bit of fill light in, sort of like what the chat window is doing right now, and giving that nice bright white light to fill in my face and, make sure that I'm not dark and unseeable. So, yeah, some good names. 539 Army, yeah, that'd be cool. I like that. I kind of do the Army style thing anyway with the camo and whatnot, and gonna be doing some more similar type things, even maybe with the car and stuff in the future, and maybe future vehicles too. So yeah, I like that type of thing, so that would be neat. The what? The producer? Or producer? I don't even know. Very calming light in the background. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. That kind of calm. I'm a big fan of aesthetics. That's sort of what. When I thought of designing the command center and how I wanted it to look and feel on the stream, I kind of wanted that really calm, mellow aesthetic, and the colors are really important to me, and I can actively change the colors. Actually, now, thanks to the tablet, I can actually change them live without having to mess with the camera on stream, since I stream from my iPhone. If I can somehow loosen that spring just a little bit, it'd be nice too. But since I use my iPhone's camera, since it's really high quality, and I don't have any reason to spend a lot of money on a expensive webcam, it does not allow me to, well, did not in the past allow me to change the color of my lights on the go. So now I can just adjust the color and then change whenever I want. It doesn't have quite the same capacity as what I would like to have. The app is not really optimized for the tablet, so it prevents it from doing the entire spectrum, but it does give me a fairly good range of colors, especially after it gets dark. So like that's more bluish, purplish. Sorry, I'm kind of letting the chat get out of hand here. Trixie, hey there, welcome. No velvet posters, no. I haven't got any psychedelic artwork or anything like that. So so it's just kind of weird. Like I can't really. It doesn't really show up real well, but there's a piece of the spectrum selector that is just too large, and so when I try to move it all the way over into like the heavy reds, it will prevent it. So I've got a little bit of a limited ability, but it's still pretty cool. MC Juggernaut. Oh yeah, that's a very interesting. I don't even know what you call his content. Like a scripted vlog, I guess. I think it is. I wonder if I can do the. So I can do like. Oh, that's not the. Yeah, it kind of works. We'll put it in rainbow. That we can scan through the colors while we're doing it here. AGP calls his the Youngins. I've never heard of that. My trip was really good. Thank you for asking, Trixie. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The guys are great to hang out with on and off camera, and so we had a great time the entire time we were there. Had a lot of time to hang out and get to know each other, so it was a really, really good experience. Lizzie Borden. Oh, yeah. That's a crazy story. Yeah, I would love to make it up to the Northeast sometime. That's one of those areas I haven't gotten around to as much as I'd like to, especially on YouTube. I'd like to make a lot more New England travels. The 539ers, there you go. It'd be like almost like a mining term. Yeah, it's a good one. Well, yeah, welcome, Greg. Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment as well. Yeah, again, I'm up for anything. I mean, you guys are more than welcome. Call yourselves whatever you want. But yeah, that's all very creative, though. I like all of those. A disco ball? I don't know if I'm doing. Maybe. We'll see. I'm definitely going to do some more lighting. And I have more lighting, actually, underneath my desk right now. It's not on, but it's more sort of ambient lighting like this. And I can change it the same way as I'm changing this right now with the tablet. But I found that I need to get a USB hub because my for the underneath of my desk, it's actually plugged in through USB to power it, and I can do that through the wall, but I didn't really want to. And so I need to get like a hub or something, or just pony up and get another wall adapter and do it that way instead. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I had to unplug that for the stream today so that I could plug in the camera actually. So I lost my under desk lights, but it doesn't really matter because you guys can't really see it right now. Although in the future, I want to try and get a few other camera angles going so that I can switch between things and maybe have like even, I don't know, like an above angle or like, I don't know, something to where the actual lighting underneath the desk is visible because I feel like it's not it's not really affecting anything, but at the same time, it looks so cool and gives such a neat effect that I hate to waste it for the streams. Even though I get to sit here and enjoy it, obviously not right now, but yeah, it's sort of one of those things I kind of wanted to be able to share that experience with all of you too. We're finally starting to get to the point where it's dark enough that the lighting is taking effect. The sun is kind of set as the stream began. So thanks for joining us, Tina. You have a good night. So, yeah. Did we? Oh, okay. I was going to say, I knew it felt like it stopped scanning through the colors. I must have bumped my my button there, and it went back to solid colors, but actually that doesn't look half bad, so we'll just leave it there for a minute. Let me go ahead and share everything again here. Oh. Oh yeah, I forgot that I never actually did share the stream. I only shared that we were going to be going live. Oh. Sorry, just hitting my share button real quick. Hopefully I'm actually... Of course I'm not. Of course I'm not logged into Twitter. Alright. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate that. Let me see if I can actually just share it on here. I have my YouTube app on. Oh, there we are. Okay. Oh, so I actually can read your guys' chats on here, too. That's kind of cool. Now, if only it will let me... There we go. Okay. Question is, do I give myself a thumbs up? No, I will not. So, yeah. Sorry. I'll try and continue to talk here as I'm doing this. So, we have a couple more abandoned locations coming out from my explorations with the guys. And then we have some more graveyards and mausoleum stuff that's going to be coming out here, too. And, yeah. And like I said, I'll be doing a lot of smaller trips in between some of the bigger trips. And one of the bigger trips that's going to be coming up here shortly, I believe the first... I'm trying to think here. Maybe the Tennessee trip. I have some plans to go down, like I said, with my cousin and dad to Tennessee to do a few things. So that might be the first one. Possibly not, though. I may be heading out to a few different places, including possibly out to like the Missouri area. So that's a possibility too. Sorry, I'm trying to type and talk at the same time, and it's not working out as well as I thought it would. But yeah. So I might do that. And again, like I said, the idea is to do a short trip to Kentucky, like a day trip maybe. Well, like an overnight trip essentially. One to southern Indiana and possibly to Ohio as well. So that's going to be happening here over the next few weeks, off and on, just as I see fit, whenever the time is right. So, and those will be I'm going to be filming some really cool mausoleum videos. I think that'll be really cool. I've got a few different ones planned out. What was that? Let's see. Haunted Queen Mary. Yeah, that would be neat. Actually, I believe Xavier from Cryptid Hunter did a really cool video on the Queen Mary recently, too. RNKL. Yeah, they did one as well. Yeah, I just saw that pop up, too. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a really neat place. Got some very interesting legends and hauntings that go on in there. And, yeah, that would be a neat one. I've never been there. So, yeah, maybe that'd be a fun one to bring Xavier along with. I would love to have his experience when we went there. So maybe when I get together with the Cryptid Hunter channel again, we'll do that location. Even though he would be returning, but I'm sure he would love to go back there because he had some really interesting stuff happen on his video. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure to watch his video on that location. And yeah, and he's really good at the ghost hunting stuff too. It'd be kind of neat to have like sort of like a big group of us. If we could get like all of the guys together, get like Xavier together with Joe and Rob from Urban Ghost Urban Exploration, and like Todd and whoever from the Holy Walkers, and get a big group of us to get together and do a huge ghost hunt. That'd be kind of interesting. Ooh. Sorry, this is taking me forever. Getting used to doing typing on the Android again, and it is really messing with me. Plus, for some reason, they turned off all of the like autocorrect on here by default, and I haven't had the chance to turn it on yet, so it's like a huge pain. Okay, like almost done. There. Okay. My apologies. Yeah, I'm definitely down to do some more haunted locations. I definitely like taking or including the ghost hunting channels alongside me when I do locations like that. Not only, obviously Alabama wasn't just about having them there for that. I've been wanting to get together with the guys from Urban Ghost, Urban Exploration for a long time now, and we've tried several different times to make things work, and it just hadn't. So that was just a happy coincidence. But in terms of doing like haunted locations, I would prefer to have people like that with me at the time. So if I were to do stuff in the future, I would definitely invite one of those channels along with me, or multiple, like I said, to do that. So yeah, definitely something I will be doing in the future at some point. So yeah, Gettysburg. I've been to Gettysburg. I have not ever been there for YouTube, and haven't filmed it ever. It's probably been since I was young. I think I went to Gettysburg when I was about maybe 10 or 11 years old or something like that. Really awesome place, though. Yeah, highly recommend. If you can ever make it out and check out Gettysburg, definitely go there. A very historic location. Yeah, lots to learn. Baker Hotel. I haven't heard that one. I'll have to look that one up. See, I want to make it to Texas. It's one of those places I haven't made it to that I've always wanted to. I'm about halfway through the states personally, and on film, I think we have let's see. On film now, was it like 8 or something like that, I think. So, got some work to be doing on that side of things, but definitely going to be making it to some new states this year for sure. Yeah, Texas was a huge place, so that'd be a fun one to explore. I mean, there's so many different areas that you could go to, and I've seen a decent amount of interesting locations. Wow, this spring is gonna drive me nuts. Okay, there. That's maybe better. The volume doesn't look as well, but all right. So, I'm definitely reading comments. Hey there, Debbie. Yeah, it's always neat to be able to experience places that you can't necessarily readily get to, and it's definitely safer to watch it on YouTube. I will say that. One of the things that I have experienced being out there a lot and exploring is, these locations are definitely dangerous, and well, some of them, obviously some more than others, but yeah, it's cool to be able to share them as well. I like the fact that I can come home, edit and make a interesting episode and upload it, and people can enjoy watching it from across the world. I think it's really kind of neat. And every one of us has our own area and our own range of where we can get to, and to be able to document that area and then upload it so that people who are outside of that area can see that. It's it's I think it's a really crazy thing that we've created here. Not just me, not just this channel, but YouTube in general. It really draws us all together, makes the world sort of a smaller place in a certain sense, and lets us really learn from each other a lot more. And that's one of the reasons I like to do what I do. But yeah. So again, like I said, some shorter trips coming up. Yeah, I guess in other news, obviously, as I've said, I'm continually working to upgrade the command center here. I'm going to be trying to do a lot more streams from here on out. Obviously, we're growing and growing. We picked up a lot of new followers, so I'd like to thank everybody that is new here that has recently subscribed, excuse me, especially some of those people that recently came on board from not only from the Urban Ghost Urban Exploration channel, but also specifically from the meet and greet that we did in Alabama, as well as some of the streams that we did for the meet and greet. And so I got to meet a lot of you out there, and that was a lot of fun. It was a really great experience. We had a lot of people show up, and even some people that sort of came digitally. We had a few people make phone calls to different people, and so we got to say hi to people on FaceTime, and it was really cool. And it was even surprising to see how many of the people that were there actually, really did know about the 539 Productions channel, and were a few of them were fans previously, and then again, a few of them had no idea, and were first timers to the channels. And so many thanks to everybody, including all of you guys. And I know a lot of you joined in on the live stream during the meet and greet, and so that was really cool. And I know I keep saying meet and greet and meetup kind of intertwined, and I'm just sort of used to meet and greet from my radio days, meeting bands and things. So if I say meet and greet, that's sort of, I'm sure you guys get the hint anyway, but I know that typically now people say meetups or whatever, so fan meetups or whatever you want to call it, sub meetups. So did I get all the thorns picked out? I suppose so. I think it's sort of like one of those ongoing processes. You always find something later on. I've found thorns in my shoes from like months and months ago. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't think you ever get everything cleaned up. You just sort of try to bring it to as high a level of cleanliness as you possibly can, and then keep as much as your exploring stuff separated from as much of your regular stuff as you can. And I didn't have an incredibly high amount of thorns that came home with me from Alabama, thankfully, and I kind of left them all, thankfully. I don't know how I managed to do that. That was one of the worst in terms of the sheer amount of thorns and the size of the thorns. It was incredible. And I've actually come home with a lot worse from locations that didn't seem quite as bad as that. I don't know if it was the type of thorns that they just weren't sticking to our clothing as much, but I mean, you definitely could feel them when you went through them, but they were strong enough that they didn't pull off. They just stayed on the bush, so I guess that's probably scarier. So yeah, that's the thorn story. But the thorn episode was really funny, and definitely came home with some wounds. Definitely came home with some scars from that. But it was a lot of fun, and it was I thought it would be a laugh for the channel, and I've always enjoyed sort of putting the blooper reels or failed episodes up. I think it sort of adds to the experience in a sense, because not everything does work out, and I feel like by hiding that in a certain way, it detracts from the experience, and I want 539 Productions to be. I mean, obviously, it's an adventure travel channel, and I'm not trying to make it into anything else. But at the same time, I don't want it to be only, the best of the best. I want it to be also, those times when we didn't have the best of luck, but we still had a lot of fun, or, we found something really cool, but we couldn't quite make it, and maybe next time it'll be different, or, and so I think that it's an interesting side of things to see, so. Oh no, it was absolutely funny though. We had, like I said, we had a lot of fun. We were having fun with it anyway. We were tired. We had been out exploring all day long at that point. We had probably walked over 5-6 miles at some of our previous locations, and then we had just gotten done filming the other abandoned house video that I put up first, and so we were incredibly tired. It was late at night. We were about ready to go to bed pretty much, and we decided to take the chance to do this one last explore and see how it went. We weren't really sure. There was really no guarantee as to what condition the places would be in, if we'd be able to get in at all, and so we gave it a shot, and that's the way it turned out. And really, I kind of liked the way it turned out, to be honest. I was really happy with it. It was funny, and again, we were all having fun anyway. I mean, it's as much as everybody was laughing, like it was just because all of us we were all having fun. We were all laughing at each other. We were all making mistakes. We were all getting cut up and scraped up and caught in thorns, and Joe got tangled in the thorns a couple times and couldn't get out, and then I wasn't tall enough to get over the top of a lot of the thorns, 'cause I'm only 5'4", so I mean it is hard for me to. I don't have the same leg span as somebody who's 6'3", 6'4", like the guys. I think is about their average height, and Todd is maybe a little bit shorter. I think at like 6 foot something. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's over 6 foot too. So yeah. The Hobbit stuff, I kind of, that was sort of a ongoing, sort of inside joke, but at the same time, it's sort of something that I've joked about for years. But we also had a sort of a weird inside joke going on about the whole Hobbit situation. But yeah, maybe that'll be for maybe a future stream. Lots of spiders on the bridge. Yeah, there were a lot of spiders. Thankfully, none of the really, really big ones. I did find some smaller spiders on the bridge. And that was... Yeah. Although, the little ones can be poisonous, too, is the thing. But, yeah, I didn't personally find any big ones that time, but there may have been some places. But, I found a lot of webs. There's a lot of places for them in the bridges too. It's a perfect place to sort of sit in the middle of everything and catch insects. Where you normally, wouldn't be able to. So I suppose for a spider, the perfect spot for a really awesome web is in a bridge on the middle of a river. Because if you ever spend any time around rivers, you'll notice a lot of times there's huge clouds of insects in the middle of the river, and so it's sort of like this prime hunting area. But yeah, there was a lot of them. So yeah, I'm sure had I been there during the day, we probably would have spotted a lot more too. But yeah, just kind of, I guess, lucky that I didn't get bit. I'm not exactly the biggest spider fan of them all, so Um, yeah, whenever I stumble upon something or on something by accident like that, it just makes me wonder how many that I'm missing. Did I? Oops. Okay, sorry. Yeah, thanks for joining us, Karen. Have a good night. Your garage. Yeah. Actually, the worst spiders that I ever saw were I can't remember the name of the video, but I mentioned it in the thumbnail. It was like an abandoned pump house, I think, and oh wow, there's a video playing on Twitter, and it really was reflecting off my face. I just noticed that. Anyway, there's an abandoned pump house that I did, and it was almost like a tarantula-sized spider in a drain pipe. It was definitely the size of my hand. I would say the body was probably about the size of a golf ball, and then its leg span was probably about the size of my hand, and it was that was in the Midwest. I had never seen anything that large. That was the first that I had seen of that size. So yeah, that was fascinating. Fascinating, excuse me. But yeah, I have not had good luck with spiders, that's for sure. Good luck on the Walmart trip, Debbie. Thanks for joining us. I should be on here for a little bit. I don't know. I might like head out for a little bit and then come back on later tonight and get some more stuff done around here. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I might be back on when you get back. So thanks for joining us at any rate. If I don't see you, have a good night. Yeah, we get some big ones in the U.S. Just depends on the areas. Sometimes down south they're a lot bigger. But we have some bigger wolf spiders and things like that. Tarantulas, yeah, those are no fun. Unless you're a tarantula fan, I guess. I guess I really don't mind in a certain situation. It's just it's got to be in the right situation. I don't want to be like surprised with a giant spider. But I guess in a controlled environment, I might be willing to, excuse me, interact with a spider. I'm not like the most. I don't get incredibly scared of things, but like I would rather have somebody who's somewhat of an expert or knows something about it to guide me before I just make a random interaction with a creature like that. Yeah, wolf spiders can get real big. I've heard in Florida they use wolf spiders in like factories and warehouses to hunt mice. Up north, a lot of times they'll actually release cats in the warehouses to hunt down the mice, and I've been told by a few of my friends that live in Florida that have worked in factories and warehouses there that occasionally they will purposefully release the wolf spiders for that very reason. So yeah, that would be pretty crazy to see, I think, to walk in there and see the giant spider, but then have somebody tell you that, no, that's okay, that's meant to be there. They get the mice. Oh, the centipedes. Yeah, the centipedes are scary. It's weird. There's like levels of it. Like the spiders aren't that bad. The centipedes are terrible, but then the millipedes aren't bad at all. I don't mind millipedes, and they're pretty much non. What am I? Non venomous. Poisonous and venomous is completely different. And we don't have a lot. We haven't had a lot of spider issues around here in a long time. It's been a really long time since I even caught a spider. Like, I don't know. Everything's changed around here, and this is not even the same place as it was when I grew up. So, like, we used to have tons and tons of spiders that would get in, and we'd have these huge spiders crawling on the walls. And, yeah, as of yet, this year, I've seen none so far this year as of 2019, and so far in the winter, I've only caught one spider that's been running around. So, yeah, I don't know what it is, but we've had a surprisingly warm winter again, and a few cold blasts here and there, but mostly warm weather, so it's been kind of strange. I was kind of expecting more insects, especially after last year. We had kind of a warm winter last year, too. We've been kind of having record-breaking warm weather here for a while here in the Midwest. It's been like over like a decade of like record-breaking high temperatures. And so I was kind of expecting like last year to have a lot of insect problems. Even during the winter, I would have like random, like especially the stink bugs. For some reason, this area had a huge infestation of the little flat stink bugs, I think they're called. And so like I swear like once a day I would like find one of them like just randomly walking along the wall. It's like you don't have any idea how they got in. They might have snuck in under the door. They might have came in through a vent. You never really know, but they work their way in any way they can because they're so thin that they can get through just about anything. And then you really can't do much about it besides just release them. So rattlesnakes, yeah. Thankfully, there's no real venomous snakes around here. The only thing we really get is I don't know, some people call them garden snakes, some people call them garter snakes. But yeah, they're just small, non-venomous. They can bite you, but they won't hurt you. But yeah, I even found out the one that I ran into that I thought was a rattlesnake at the abandoned campground that I did. One of the few episodes that I ever did live on the 539 Productions channel was at an abandoned campground, and that one I thought I stumbled upon a rattlesnake because the snake popped up and started rattling, and what I found out was that it was a species of snake that mimics rattlesnakes, and what they do is they put their tail specifically into piles of leaves, and they shake the tail back and forth to make it sound like a rattle. And so it wasn't actually even I don't think it's venomous, and if it is, it might have been only mildly venomous. So I thought that was kind of interesting, though, that out of all of the times that I thought, actually I can't say that because I have encountered a rattlesnake a long time ago, just never on YouTube when I was doing any exploring or filming. But the only time on YouTube that I thought that I encountered a poisonous, or I should say a venomous snake, it was actually a fake. But yeah, it's something that you definitely have to look out for, though. I mean, aside from the run-ins that you can have with people, the run-ins that you can have with nature can definitely be equally as dangerous. You know, you got your poisonous spiders, you got your venomous snakes, you've got terrain in general, which is, very treacherous a lot of times getting to these places. You've seen the thorns that we went through recently, and I mean, that was only the half of it. Obviously, there were certain times we thought we were going to get eaten alive by dogs. Yeah. There's bears in certain places. We were kind of worried about bears. Especially down in the south in the mountains, you can run into the black bears, which are smaller but somewhat aggressive. Water snake. Yeah, water snakes are bad. Yeah, snakes can swim, and they can swim really well too. They can swim fast. So, yeah, that can be a scary one. So, yeah, there's all kinds of dangers, you know. You got to be careful whenever you're out in the wilderness or in places that are abandoned or wherever they might be, you know. Um, yeah, there's definitely stuff that can hurt you out there. And I've run into almost everything. Whether it's been out in nature or inside of a building, I've had a lot of scary experiences, you know. Yeah, I've definitely run into some water snakes in other areas of the world. Um, there's a lot of venomous water snakes, I believe, down south, and we've encountered some down there. Never anything bad. I've never been bitten. I'm usually fairly careful. If I know that I'm in a situation where a lot of things could potentially be hiding around me, whether it's high grass or whether there's a lot of wood lying about that, you know, gives good places for snakes to hide underneath, or you got to be careful with loose rocks. You know, snakes will hide underneath rocks, or they'll be on top of rocks to get sun and warm themselves up, so you got to be careful in situations like that. And then, yeah, with the water snakes, you have to be careful at your, sometimes they'll sit at the shoreline, sometimes they'll be hiding in grass along the shore, sometimes, you know, they'll be, you know, just, if they're spooked, they'll jump out and swim, maybe they'll swim away from you, and maybe if you're unlucky, they'll swim towards you and assume you're a threat. You never know, so it's always good to be on the lookout for everything when you're out there, so. Rats, yeah, rats are also very good swimmers, yeah. They can actually swim underwater for quite a while, too. So I know places like big cities have problems sometimes with rats literally coming up out of the sewers and out of toilets and things like that because they can swim so well underwater and have such a great sense of direction that they can make it through these incredibly complex networks of tubes, even though that it's pitch black down there. So it's kind of crazy to think that situations like that are actually real. So yeah, it's something to think about if you live in a big city and you're, I guess, using the restroom, or something not to think about. Maybe that's the goal there. So. Yeah, there's actually a famous. You might be able to find it on YouTube. There's a famous video, and they did a cross section. I think they put in a fake toilet essentially, and clear piping underneath it so that you could see how it worked, and the rat could successfully dive down and find its way through the system and up through an open toilet, and escape. So, yeah, they're incredibly intelligent creatures. And in fact, on like the scale, like they're way up there. Like it's like humans, whales, dolphins, which are whales, but essentially, and then like rodents are way up there on that list of some of the most intelligent creatures on the planet. So yeah, they're, if they want to be somewhere, they will be there, unless there's some sort of trap or something, you know, impeding their progress. To my knowledge, almost every species of rat can swim. Maybe some of them are better than others, but like I would say your common like New York City rat could definitely swim underwater and through sewage pipes, 100%. In fact, a lot of the reason that rats, I believe, exist around the world today is because they have like stowed away on like boats and stuff, and so swimming has been a big part of how they've migrated around the world, as far as I know. Certain types of rats, obviously, rodents are pretty common in general around the world, and so you'll find native species of rodents and mice and rats all around the world, but there's like a certain species which I believe is considered like your city rat, like your New York City rats. People always think of that, the big rats that are feeding in the trash cans, or you see in the alleyways or whatnot, and that's what I'm talking about. Those are sort of like these, like sort of like, if I understand it correctly, vaguely international species of rats, those sort of stowed away on different types of transportation vessels over the years and spread around the world. And yeah, and again, incredibly intelligent, and in a lot of ways think in the same ways as like humans, in terms of their how they build their societies and things like that. So it's kind of an interesting thought that they live alongside us the way that they do. So almost a testament to their intelligence, that instead of building their own stuff, they just let humans build and live off of our society, even though technically they're incredibly intelligent species themselves. Not that they would be able to go around and build their own buildings, I mean, in the sense that we do, but they're incredibly capable. We'll say that much. So, hey there, Ramona. Welcome. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. What time is it? 7:51 p.m. here where I am in the Midwest. So, man, this is a super early stream tonight. It just feels naturally later, I think, just because I'm on stream right now. I feel like it should be like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, but really, in reality, it's still incredibly early. And like I said, I might, if I end up taking a break, I might come back on later tonight and do a second stream. We'll see. I'm not really sure. I do have some stuff to get done. I need to get some cable management done here, get some cleaning done and things. So we'll see how it goes. But I might end up doing another stream tonight, or pausing the stream for a while. We'll see what happens. I'm not really planning it out at this point. I'm just gonna see how it goes. We're just gonna see how it plays out. But yeah, welcome. Glad to have all of you here. Thanks to everybody that has joined. See if I can check here and see how many people we got right now. It's like mine's saying 11 right now. I don't know if that's actually accurate or what we got. But yeah, there we go. Okay. But yeah, thanks to everybody that's watching. Good to have you here. If you have any questions about the travels, about the Alabama trip, about meeting up with the guys from Urban Ghost Urban Exploration, or Todd from the Holy Walkers, about the meet and greet, or about upcoming travels, let me know, and I will try to but yeah. Sorry, my bad. Trying to adjust things real quick and check my numbers for a second. Anyway, all right. Yeah, if anybody has any questions about any of that, let me know, and I'll try to take care or answer those to the best of my ability. The picture's a bit blurry. It might be my streaming settings. I am still trying to tweak things a little bit. I recently redid everything on my computer. I did a complete restore of the OS X operating system and have been setting everything back up. And part of that is getting the streaming settings back to the way they were. I had been trying to tweak all that. I don't know, maybe I didn't get some of the settings tweaked that I needed to. It also could be a regional kind of thing with the way YouTube's broken down into different regions around the world. It could be how the stream is reaching the individual areas, so I'm not quite sure. To the best of my knowledge, I thought I had it set up to stream at full 1080p at, I believe, 30 frames a second. I think I'm not going to hold myself to that because it may not be at this point. My apologies if it's not running at that. I was intending for it to run at that. So if you're receiving anything less than 1080p, then it's not my intention. It should be running at full 1080p, and if not, then I will attempt to adjust that here when I sign off in a little bit and take a break. So we'll look into that, but I'll go ahead and check it either way when I take a break just to make sure everything's set up as it should be, because one of the first things I did when I got everything reset up was to make sure that the streaming settings weren't the default settings, and so it should be set up properly. So if it's not working, then I need to reset things up. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, I want to try and go as long as I can, but while I was sick, I kind of lost my voice, and my voice isn't back to 100% quite yet. You may be able to tell it's getting a little bit raspy here as I'm starting to talk a little bit longer, but I'm going to try and keep doing this for a little bit. Again, I do intend to do more and more early streams just because I feel like it's more convenient for a lot of you out there, and I can always pop on and do later streams as well for those of you that like doing the late night thing too. So I'm really kind of down for both, and especially as we're growing now and getting more of you that are interested in coming over and hanging out and asking questions and just talking about random subjects in general. We get into all kinds of different subjects over here that we don't really tackle over on the 539 Productions channel. And I think it's a lot of fun to do, and I sort of treat it like a lot like a podcast. As you can see, the setup is mostly set up in the same way that a podcast would be set up, and it's a sort of chill, laid-back format where you guys can ask questions or, like I said, talk about random subjects, and we can get into different things. Get into different ideas, or different stories, or different, talk about music, or talk about movies, or talk about, different things like that. Talk about science even. We've had all kinds of incredible conversations on here, so I think it's a really fun format. And so even though I'm going to be doing more stuff out in the field as well, doing more sort of IRL streams, sort of like the meet and greet and live explores, maybe things like that, I want to also keep doing formats just like this. Lola, hey there. Good to have you. Yeah, I'm happy to be home. It's been a great trip, but it's always good to get back, and get down to editing and releasing the adventures to all of you guys. Now, there's going to be a lot more episodes coming up with the guys. Got a few different abandoned places that we did together, and those are really exciting. Some of those adventures are available over on their channel already, so if you guys have checked out their channel, you might have seen some of those places that we went to. And, yeah, had, again, a lot of fun with the guys. Really good guys. Made some, obviously not just while we were down there. We've been sort of getting to know each other for a while now, but I would definitely call them really good friends of mine. And so, was very happy, very, very happy. And it was good to be able to finally get to meet them in person, especially after having tried so hard to do it over the past year and just having it fall through so many times. And then finally, going for it and making it happen. So that was really cool, and it was kind of the same way even with the California trip. These big trips are hard, and so sometimes it doesn't always happen the first time that you try. And that's one of the things I've had to learn here on YouTube, especially working with other people, working on other people's schedules, and working with your own schedule, and just life in general, is that, sometimes things just don't happen how you think they're going to happen, and then you have to work around that. And so it was another good situation where, like the California trip, I was finally able to pin down a schedule with the guys and get down there to Alabama and make a really, really great trip out of it. And that is exactly how it turned out. We got a lot of filming in, and I think almost even more important to me, we got a lot of time to just hang around and get to know each other. It was the in-between time was a lot of fun. We spent a lot of time just hanging out. We went out to eat and ate in a lot of really great restaurants, had some really awesome food and some really great conversations, and I feel like we really got to know each other, and it was really cool. And yeah, so I can definitely excuse me. See, I told you I'm still not back to 100% quite yet, but yeah, I can really say it was a good experience. Why do I go so far? Well, first off, I should say that I grew up traveling like this. The road trip is almost all that I know. I never really took planes anywhere as a child. I've flown in helicopters probably more than I've ever flown in planes, and I can say that 100%. And so, like, it's just what I grew up on, and I enjoy it. It's my favorite method of travel. I like going long distances. I enjoy being on the road. I like the process of getting to where I'm going as much as being there. And so that sort of change in environment of heading out on the road and going somewhere that looks completely different from what you're used to, whether you're used to flatlands and farms and corn and all that, and you go from that to these giant mountains, or you go to these deserts where there's nothing for miles around, and you just, it's like you're traveling to a different world or a different planet almost. It's just sort of getting out of your element, and that's what a lot of it's about. It's trying to find as many different places and different things as possible, and there's a certain interesting feeling to being a far distance from home. I always kind of go back to kind of give another Hobbit reference, but to the actual books, to the Lord of the Rings, to a line in there where they said that if I were to take one more step, it'll be the farthest that I've ever gone. And when I'm traveling, I think about that phrase a lot, and I try to make that happen a lot in my travels, to try to take one step further than I've ever gone before, one state further than I've ever gone before, one place that I've never touched before, never seen before, and if I can at least during my travels lay eyes on one thing that I've never seen before in my life, then I can say that was a successful trip. And so a lot with like Alabama, I'd never been to Alabama before. I'd never seen any of that there. I had been to the mountains before plenty of times, but it's like one of those things. You can say that you're in the South, but it's not all the same. Kentucky's not the same as Tennessee. Tennessee's completely different from Georgia. Georgia's a lot different from Alabama, and it's incredible to see how different it is, and it's definitely a blessing to live in an area that's as large as I'm in. I've got a huge country up north of me. I've got the rest of the United States and Canada up north. I've got this massive country below me, the southern United States, and on down into Florida, down into Texas and Mexico, and all this area where I could potentially travel and drive to and explore. And I definitely want to take advantage of that. And I think that's one of my main motivations. It's like I have this huge area that I can get to, and I don't have to fly. I don't have to take a boat. I don't have to do anything besides hop in my car and just drive there. And so I definitely want to take advantage of that and see how many places I can get to. And like I said, it's just the road trip has just always been one of my, I should say, my favorite method of travel. Yeah. And there's definitely places I get to and identify things that I want to go back and visit again, and places that I will go to numerous times, and people that I will visit numerous times and do stuff with, in terms of collaborations and things like that. And but there's still that thrill of doing something completely different and completely new. And, obviously you can even do that with the people that you love to do stuff with, obviously I don't have to go to the same places or necessarily go to places where, these other people have been before. When we went to Alabama, none of us had been to Alabama, at least not to film as far as I know. I think Todd might have done a little bit. I'm not sure if he had done any in Alabama, but I know he had traveled, I think, through there for on his way to another location. So he had been there before, but I don't know about the guys from Urban Ghost Urban Exploration. And I know that they had, as far as I know, had not ever filmed there before. This had been a first for our filming in Alabama, I think for all of us, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, it's again, it's always at the top of my mind, especially in the more and more the channel grows, and the more the ability is there. It's like, where do I want to go now? What do I want to check out that I've never seen before? Where can I touch that I've never touched before? Where can I go? And that's kind of the drive. And so, but like I said, it's fun, again, to be able to like take some of these people that I've worked with before and maybe put us both in a place where we're out of our element, and to do that again. And I really enjoyed that with the guys because we were all out of our element. We had no idea what we were doing. We were relying on the people that knew stuff about the area and about our research that we had done about the area, even though it was limited. And so it was kind of cool to do it that way, though. I really enjoyed that aspect of traveling, sort of in the moment. I think there's something to be said about some of these series that do this epic amount of planning and they have everything researched. And I think there's a certain amount of research that you should do before you go to places, but at the same time, I think that sort of flying by the seat of your pants, sort of in the moment travel, going to these places that you don't necessarily know what to expect, I think there's something neat about that. And again, it's not that you're ignoring all research, it's that you're just sort of living and traveling in the moment, But, again, like I was saying, though, the idea of maybe getting together with some of these guys that I've done work with, some of these channels that I've done work with, and doing it in more of maybe like a centralized location where we can meet up, like I did with Urban Ghost Urban Exploration and Holy Walkers, and do stuff like that. I think that would be kind of cool to do that in the future with some of the guys that I worked out with out west too, like Xavier and Steve and Ryan. Cindy Dodd, welcome. Good to have you. I'm glad you were able to catch the live stream as well. Yeah, I always love the mausoleums. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I need to tell you guys. Or what all is new. Um, Again, a big welcome to anybody that is new to the channels, both the 539 Productions channel and the Mystery channel here. I appreciate having you all on board and watching. And yeah, it's been neat to see how much the channel has grown here, especially over the last few weeks. We really kind of shot up there, and we're really getting close now to that 1,000 mark here on the second channel. So I'm excited to finally pass that barrier, and it looks like it's not too far away. We're really closing in quite nicely, so it's gonna be cool. Yeah, and we'll have to do maybe a special stream, some kind of celebration of some sort. I don't know exactly what to do or how to celebrate it, or I don't know. I open to ideas, and definitely am happy to see the second channel finally getting the sort of growth that I've wanted to achieve. And, it's been a while, and we've had some different issues that we've had to iron out here on both channels. And so, again, the 2018 year was sort of a year where at the beginning of the year I had to take a step back and sort of work on fixing everything and getting everything back up to 100% on the main channel, and then slowly start turning the gears here again on the second channel and ease into the streams. And that really didn't get started until later on in the 2018 year. And that was, an unfortunate setback, but still we are back in the works, and we are regrowing everything, and everything has been doing quite nicely recently. So I've been very, very happy, Do you get no, you do not. No channels get automatically monetized. You have to apply for it. Oh, to do some ukulele stuff? Yeah, maybe. There's a possibility. Just depends on how everything's going. I got still a few changes I probably need to make to the command center before I can start doing full-on music type stuff. And even then, I still have to be careful. Especially with the copyrighted music. So it'll be interesting, that's for sure. But yeah, I will try to do some music, but I think if I end up doing music, it's going to end up having to be original music only, because there's just been too much of a crackdown recently, even on things like covers. So it kind of puts you at risk for getting flagged. So I've got to figure it out, but I do have some ideas. I am someone, I've written music for a long time. I have a lot of experience in writing album type songs, and so I don't know how exactly I'll work it in, but I might try to do something along those lines where I kind of release it sort of like an album. I don't know. I'm still sort of working on that side of things, but the music thing definitely didn't die. I still think about it all the time, and it's something that I really want to do. I need a good way to do it, and a way that is good for the channel too. So I think that might be the best way, which is to sort of compose an album and record it, and then maybe release it song for song as sort of like individual, not necessarily music videos, maybe sort of like that, but like sort of like a dumbed down version of a music video, more like a performance type piece, and then be able to do occasionally maybe stuff like that on a live stream so that it doesn't flag me, but at the same time I can still share that side of everything, especially since, like I said, it always has been a desire of mine to do the musical side of things. And as someone who has written my own music, and I have the ability to perform music live, it's definitely something I don't want to miss out on. So yeah, that'll be happening in the future. Do I have any merch out? Yeah, I do have merch. I have t-shirts available at Spreadshirt. I think it's... I can't remember how to get to it. I think it's shop.spreadshirt.com/539productions. I am working right now on another venture to release some prints that I have taken, and a lot of them are things that I've released previously on Instagram. And so I've been wanting for a long time to find a good way to have like affordable artwork that I could offer, like posters and small like canvas prints and things like that people might be interested in as just plain old artwork, and nothing that's really advertising, as to who I am, or it's not signed or anything like that. It's just flat out prints and posters. And so I'm going to be, I'm in the process right now of creating that site. It should be finished here over the next few days. And then I'll be releasing those links to all of that. And I think some of that will be available from YouTube. So... do I sing? Yes, I do. I've been singing since I was very, very young. I've been in choir since I was in school, and then band and all kinds of musical classes and extracurricular music activities and contests. And I've played numerous musical instruments in school and self-taught as well. Ukulele is self-taught, guitar is self-taught. I also played some brass instrumentation in school, so I've played jazz and things like that too, and regular concert music, and classical and orchestral, which there's a difference. So yeah, I absolutely do a lot of music and a lot of singing, and it's just something that's never been on YouTube, merely because it's hard. It's probably one of the harder things to do. I did get into recording years and years ago. I have recorded songs before, but it's a lot harder than this. This is a pretty professional setup right now, but it's definitely a lot harder to successfully capture a singing voice, and to capture it the way that you feel like it would sound live. So it's still got a little bit of work left to be done for me here in the command center to get everything set up to the point where I feel like it would be a good sound, and I don't want to release anything mediocre. So I don't know. I don't know how to say like a time frame about it, but it will be coming. But I don't have 100% like date. So, But yeah, it is something I've been looking forward to sharing, and I've been trying to do. I did record a song a while back that I did on ukulele, but it was a cover, and I decided against posting it. It wasn't the newest cover. It wasn't any pop songs or anything like that, but at the same time, it was like, it wasn't the quality I was looking for. It was pretty good, but it wasn't the quality level I was looking for. And then on top of that, I was a little bit worried again about the future of the channel as it grows. I didn't want to get flagged with any type of copyrighted content, so I just sort of decided against it and said, if I'm going to do the music thing, I'm going to have to do the music thing right. I'm going to have to do all original music that I've written myself, that I perform myself, and so I think I'm just gonna do it that way. So I mean, yeah, a third channel, yeah, maybe. There's definitely some plans in the works here for all kinds of different opportunities in the future. Third channels, other formats, other platforms. Obviously, I've been working on. Some of you know I've been working on like a Twitch channel. I do have a Twitch channel. I have only used it one time unsuccessfully, and that was during the California trip. But that is something that I do want to put more time and effort in the future into, because there's different things that you're capable of doing on different formats, and YouTube's definitely the best for a lot of formats. And then I feel like there's other sites too, like Twitch, that are good for other types of streams and other types of formats. And so I'm going to try and experiment with that in the future as well. And that could be a place maybe. I think Twitch is a little bit more easygoing on the covers. So if I ever wanted to do any sort of musical covers, I could probably perform that over on Twitch, at least live. I don't think they allow you to do it in the playback, so it probably wouldn't be available to watch later. But if I were on like a live stream and I wanted to do like a cover of a certain popular song, I could probably do that and actually not have to worry about any type of content strikes on Twitch, as far as I know. Sorry, my eyes are getting strained. Oh, that's much better. I can actually see the words, even though I zoomed in at 100. I'm 150% zoom. I still need glasses. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I've always enjoyed singing, but yeah, actually, I have had music online before. I feel like I might be having some issues with my actual iPhone. Maybe that, because I'm seeing blurry images on my OBS right now. All right. I'm going to catch up on the chat here real quick, and then I'm going to take a look at this camera for a minute, because this is not looking right. All right. What is Twitch? Twitch is a website, twitch.tv, not .com, but twitch.tv is a streaming website that works a lot like what we're doing here right now. It is primarily aimed at just streaming, and a lot of the focus is around gaming, and even a lot of focus around professional gaming. If you think of like watching, go into your sports channels on your TV to watch your basketball games. Twitch is where you might go to watch your professional Fortnite games, or your professional PUBG games, or things like that, where people are actually going to win real money and are part of real professional teams. But it's also a place where people do IRL streams, sort of like this, and it has a little bit slightly different rules. And yeah, I don't know why it's doing the blur. It's something with my phone. I can see it on my stream. It's nothing to do with I think my streaming quality is actually good, but because my bit rate actually is amazing right now, but it's the connection between my camera and my computer. Hold on. Let's actually, I'm going to try and do a side by side. I'm going to try and add my webcam. We're going to see how much better the webcam looks. Oh yeah, look at that. That is like night and day. All right. Does that look like 100% better and clear for all of you too? Like, let me know. To me, that looks a lot better And again, my bit rate is full 1080p right now. Almost. Like, it dips down below sometimes. But it should be... Yeah, I got to figure out something. It's something between the connection between my iPhone right now and the computer. I don't know. That's weird. I've never actually had that happen before. The iPhone literally downgraded the quality. So maybe I might have hit something by accident on the iPhone, and it caused the quality to go down. So yeah, my stream quality right now is peak. Like, it's hitting right at 5,000K a second. So that's almost... When it dips below, it's probably a little bit under 1080p, but like it should be sitting there right at the 1080p. So yeah, that's the webcam. That's not the good cam, so the colors aren't going to look that great. But until I figure out the quality, which normally the iPhone is a lot better quality, so I'm not sure what's going on, but I'll figure that out and then fix it, and we'll get it up and running. But yeah, that's really strange. So we'll leave it right there for the moment. My apologies. I didn't realize the quality of that was looking so terrible. But sorry, let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. Yeah, let me know what you think of the merch. I've got a few things up. I'll try and post a link. I used to have a link up here on the stream, just so in case people wanted to look at it, but I don't have it anymore. But I'll have to see if I can find some links to post somewhere. Yeah, it's good. I'm glad everybody's seen a big difference in the quality. Thanks, Tracy. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with the guys, and definitely will be doing it again. This won't be the last time that we get together and do a collaboration. I think we all had a lot of fun. Everybody was real positive about the experience, and I think we're all kind of looking forward to that day when we can get together again and do some work together. And yeah, again, I definitely don't feel like I went down there and just worked with a couple of YouTube channels. I definitely feel like I went down there and worked with my friends. And so, yeah, I definitely will be working to get together with them in the future too. So it's yeah, it's definitely one of the things I like about the platform, about YouTube. You don't just get to go out there and work with colleagues. You get to go out there and make new friends, and it's neat to be able to maintain those connections and continue talking with these people. And a lot of these people that I've worked with, I still talk to this to this day. In fact, I don't know anybody really that I have worked with that I don't keep in contact with in some way. So most of them we text each other from time to time, or we message each other online, whether we're DMing each other or, just tweeting at each other, we're always in some sort of contact and keeping up with each other. And so it's a lot of fun to be able to make friends that do things that are similar to what you do. And, it's interesting because, it's definitely a weird sort of kind of club in a way to be and it's kind of interesting to make friends with other people that create content on YouTube, and I find it to be a very interesting aspect to my own life here on YouTube is getting to know other YouTubers. And so as I grow, it's kind of cool because while a lot of people out there who are bigger have had that experience, I'm just sort of starting out. I've worked with a decent amount of channels now, but at the same time, it's still fairly new to me, and it's really neat to see that base of friends grow as time progresses. Are there only ladies here tonight? I don't know. I don't think so. There was a pretty good mix in here. Our guys might have fallen silent for a little bit or had some stuff to do. But we've got a few guys, a few dudes in here. I call everybody dudes, though. I feel like it's a fairly universal term anymore. Anybody can be a dude. But, yeah, I don't know. Sure, there's some people maybe hanging in the background. Not everybody likes to chat. It's cool. Some people just like to listen. Some people like to watch. It's fine. I'm not really worried about it. But we can have whatever mix in here. No big deal either way. So, yeah. Again, many thanks to everybody that's coming in for the early stream. My apologies for the technical difficulties with the camera. I don't know exactly what's going on or why it is having a little fit with my computer and not wanting to essentially stream 1080p from the phone to my computer. So I don't know exactly what has happened. I'm going to have to look at that here in a little bit and see what kind of tweaking I need to do to the settings, because there's got to be something wrong. I don't know. It's definitely the same setup as last time, so it should still be functioning, but yet it's not. So I don't know. Melinda is still here. Good to have you. Still recovering from the underwater rat info. Yeah. It's a little jarring to know what's possible sometimes. Yeah. I always try to keep the quality up, and quality is one of my top factors, whether it's equipment quality, audio quality, video quality. I don't want to release a subpar product, and so that's why I've been trying to work on the streams the way I have been recently and improve the audio, improve the look and feel of the command center, and just the overall experience of tuning into the streaming channel, I guess, if you want to call it that. Even though it's not going to be completely a streaming channel, it will go back to not really a normal, I wouldn't say like a daily vlog. It's never probably going to be like a daily type vlog, but there will be more normal episodes appearing on this channel sometime in the future. I don't know exactly what capacity that's going to be in, what kind of content it's going to be. It'll probably be something similar to what I've done in the past with different sort of like I did some tech things in the past with like how to be a YouTuber, how to avoid different follower traps and different social media traps out there, and things like that. And I wouldn't mind doing some more things like that in the future, some more maybe behind the scenes travel information for people out there that are wanting to travel more. And I don't know. I'm sort of open to all kinds of concepts. I have a few different actual travel series ideas. I don't know if I'm going to release them here on even on YouTube or the channels or on a third channel or what, but I have some crazy awesome travel, almost not like full series. Like, I don't know, some of them could probably keep going on for a while, but some of them would be probably more of a short, like, mini series. But I have a few really awesome ideas that I don't feel like a lot of people have really touched on, especially in the areas that I'd like to do it in. And I know that's being kind of cryptic, but I kind of have to be, because I do want to maintain some sort of creative control over my ideas at this point, and so I want to keep some of the things under wraps, especially future type of content that I'm going to be putting out. You never know what kind of opportunities might come out to release, or what kind of platforms that I could release on. So I definitely want to maintain some of the integrity of these ideas until I get more of an indication that I'm going to be releasing them in a shorter time frame, if that makes sense. Are there more locations in Indiana? Yeah, I got tons of locations in pretty much every Midwestern state. There's quite a lot that I have marked around the United States. I have hundreds of locations that I have yet to visit, so there's no shortage. So, yeah, we're going to be doing tons of Midwestern locations here, and then we're going to be doing some, like I said, some more further road trips. I wanted to say abroad, but that more infers international travel, which is not really going to be happening relatively shortly, but will be happening. I may be making some trips into some of the bordering countries, obviously, like Canada, maybe Mexico, things like that. But like overseas travel, I don't foresee that happening in the near future. If it's going to happen this year, it's going to be later on down the road. I do have an idea in mind for something that I'd like to do as sort of like I don't even know where I'd post it. I guess I'd post it on 539 Productions. It's definitely adventure travel, but it would definitely be different from anything that I've ever posted before. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. It might be incredibly expensive. It might not be as expensive as I think it is. And there's a few different ways to do it. It is a big trip, essentially. And the episode would be more about the trip than it would be about the destination, although the destination would be kind of a large part of it. But the idea of the series would be to start where I am and to make it an incredible distance, basically in my car, through a lot of incredibly difficult obstacles, and finally making it to this faraway location, which could take weeks, months, maybe, to get to. I know, again, that's being kind of cryptic, but that is an idea that I have coming up, which could include some really longer travels. Hey there, Lori. Welcome to the live stream. Good to have you. I'm doing well. Back from Alabama and getting the editing finished up here. Got a few episodes left to finish, and then I'll be completely wrapped and uploaded. We should have a few weeks left of material here. I think I had about 10 episodes completely, and we've released 4 now, so we got 6 episodes left to do, and those will be mixed in here with a few of the other shorter trips too. So we've got a good month and a half of material here. Well, probably more like a month, I should say, of material here to go. But yeah, we'll be getting a lot of those explores in, and it really depends. I haven't gotten everything edited, so some things may turn into like 2-part series. Some things I have a lot of material, and some of the material I don't have necessarily a lot of it, but it's just all good. And so I've noticed that a lot of things have been recently turning into 2-part series when they didn't really have as much content as I thought I had, because it just turned out that a lot of the shots that I took were really good, and it ended up adding up into something more than what I had intended. And so I've been having a lot of happy coincidences lately where I've kind of stumbled upon 2 and 3 part series where I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to get out of it. So I'm not really sure in terms of some of these episodes that I haven't released yet. Some of that may end up being that situation, And if that's the case, then you never know. We may have even more material that comes out of the trip to Alabama. So, yeah, I think it'll be really great. And the episodes that I've already released have been fantastic episodes. I've really enjoyed creating and filming, all of it. The abandoned house was really fascinating. Lots of crazy stuff that happened, lots of crazy stuff that we found. And then the second sort of blooper reel was, again, really funny. Definitely found some really interesting things. A real short clip, but there was a piano that, I found inside the one trailer. I got a nice, real quick glimpse of through the window, and then some really old magazines and a bunch of old clothes and some random canned goods that were sitting on the shelf of another rundown old country cabin in the woods. And actually, that might have been, I think that was actually part of another mobile home, though. It just was pretty smashed up and nasty looking, and had some, I think it might have had like parts of it that were like modular home and parts of it that were like built onto like a normal home. So it sort of had the look of like both. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes, especially when you get out in certain places and the building code isn't always the same as what you would see in cities. People can make up a lot of very interesting structures on their own. Thank you, Ramona. Appreciate that. And thank you, Lori. So yeah. Then this weekend we had the pet cemetery that I went to, the military pet cemetery, and that was really neat. Again, a very unique location I haven't been to before, although I have done the pet cemeteries before. I should say I've done one pet cemetery before, and then this was the military pet cemetery. So I thought that was really kind of an interesting idea, and I thought there was going to be more service animals. Although, somebody had pointed out, and even I had thought in the past too, that a lot of times if an animal does serve in an actual active war zone, they are buried in a normal cemetery, a normal military cemetery with full military honors. So, maybe not full military honors. I don't really know how that goes for animals, but like they can be buried alongside actual human soldiers. So that's a possibility, but some of these animals may very well have just been pets of service members. So some of them may not have served. Some of them may have served in different types of roles, support roles that were not necessarily combat related. I really don't know the stories of all of them. And again, the information available there was not incredibly detailed, so it's kind of hard to say. No worries, Lori. It's all good. What kind of streams am I mean, I will experiment with different types of streams, but it just depends. I guess the range of the streams just depends on where, why, and how. So, yeah, who knows? But I will be doing some IRL streams. Again, sort of like the streams that we did down in Alabama, including the meetups and things like that. But again, I don't know, in terms of meetups and things. It's a little bit harder to do meetups all by myself yet. It's a lot of fun to be able to do it with other channels like Urban Ghost, Urban Exploration, and the Holy Walkers, because you get a really good turnout, and a lot of people are able to come and hang out. And if I were to just do it on my own, it might not necessarily be as fun for everyone, since there probably wouldn't be as many people that'd be able to get together. So we might be doing some more streams sort of like that here when I get back together with the guys, or with some other of my YouTuber friends as well. Obviously we did some streaming out in Las Vegas with Xavier, and I'd like to do some more of that in the near future here. And did a little bit of streaming on RJ32's channel for the Idaho trip, so that was fun. I liked doing helping him do his live stream and doing the reading the chat for him. That was a fun experience. So I would like to do some stuff like that in the future too. So. Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird situation with like animals. A lot of times, at least, especially here in the U.S., a lot of times the remains are just discarded and sort of forgotten. I don't even know that a lot of people really knows what happens afterward. A lot of times they're just sort of given up to the various medical institutions which the animals are brought to at the end of their life, and they take care of it from there. Or the idea of the pet cemetery is nothing new around here, but at the same time it is fairly rare that you do see them. It's not like it's something completely surprising to stumble upon, but at the same time it's like it's just not one of those things you see every day. Especially with the military one. I've never seen a specific military one. I guess it kind of makes sense though. But in the U.S. it's sort of either you do it yourself, sort of like a backyard pet grave, or not graveyard necessarily, but little single grave or whatever for your own pet, or sometimes you hear the cremated remains, but a lot of times the pets really aren't dealt with in that way around here, and I think it's kind of interesting to see the people that do, and it's kind of cool because they're a big part of our lives as well. Definitely things that improve a lot of our lives, and to think that they just go by the wayside and are not necessarily forgotten, but I guess not remembered in that sense, having a permanent place of rest, I guess. It's kind of a strange idea to think that they spend so much of their lives in such a close capacity with all of us, and then at the end just sort of get discarded like trash, I guess. So yeah, it's kind of a weird, almost sad story in a way. But I've personally had it happen both ways. I've had pets. I don't have pets currently. I don't have any desire at this moment in my life to have any pets, but like I've had pets. I've had dogs, I've had cats, I've had birds, I've had things like that. I don't know necessarily how good of an idea it is to have all of these animals. My thoughts on keeping certain types of animals and certain sizes of animals and whatnot, has definitely changed over the years, but I think that they do make good companions for us, and vice versa. I do think that certain animals do need that. Obviously, your German Shepherd is not a wild animal, is not going to want to survive all on its own out in the woods, and so the idea of like that they should somehow be released and let wild is kind of ridiculous too. So like, I definitely don't. I'm not anti-pet, but I don't personally have any pets. But like, I've had both situations happen, where they would pass away and we would bury the pet in our backyard or whatever and have our own little service, if you want to call it that. And then we've had it where if we've sort of relinquished the remains to the veterinary clinic or whatever that we were at when we've had to put certain animals down because of medical issues or whatever. So I've had both situations happen, but it's sad, and but it's one of those things that you just grow up that way when you live around here. A lot of people just don't do that. It's either you do it yourself or you allow the facility that took care of that process to deal with it. It's very rare that people say, "Hey, I'm gonna buy this plot here," and put this marker up, and it's a rare thing. I think it'd be neat to see more of it, honestly. As much as we treat these animals as such huge parts of our lives, it's kind of odd that we don't do it more, I think. So I don't even honestly remember. It's been so long. I haven't had any animals probably for well over a couple decades now, so that's sort of ancient history at this point. But yeah, they're good to have around. I think it's an experience that probably most people should have at least at one point in their lives, and I think a lot of people choose to live that way, and that's it's a good way to live, and it's a healthy way to live. I think it's definitely something that emotionally is good. Animals provide a lot of emotional support for humans, and again, vice versa, in a lot of situations. Sometimes it's not that way, and that's unfortunate. I think people should be very careful about the needs of their animals when they get them, and realize that it's not just about them, but it's about the animal being healthy and comfortable and happy too, and so it definitely needs to be a two-way street. But at the same time, I think it's done correctly, it can be a healthy situation for both the animal and the human. So well, that's cool, Melinda. Yeah, it's always cool to get the rescues. That's a good thing to do. There's a lot of animals out there that are in need of homes, and a lot of people out there just want to go to breeders and get puppies, and so it's a sad situation where a lot of these older dogs who are really good animals and make good pets and good companions for a lot of people out there are sort of looked over and left by the wayside when they could again fulfill a very good role in somebody's life and really again have that positive benefit for both the human and the animal. So it's I definitely encourage the whole rescue animal situation and getting these animals out of these bad puppy mills and farms and things like this. A lot of times they're just not in situations where they're healthy, and it's like your own living circumstance. Nobody wants to live in a house with a dirt floor, but some people have to, and it's good to help people and animals get out of bad situations. And so any assistance in doing rescues in terms of pets and things like that, it's good to try and start there. Not necessarily that it's bad to get a newborn puppy or kitten or whatever either, but at the same time, I feel like if you're going to get the one, maybe get the other, because animals like companionship anyway. So if you're planning to get a newborn puppy or whatever, maybe think about getting a nice rescue to be an older companion. And you'll probably find out that if you pick the right rescue, that older animal might be a positive influence on a younger dog, which may otherwise be a lot harder to train in the absence of a older dog to look up to as a role model. So you might actually find that it's a positive experience to get two as opposed to the one. Plus you have that added benefit of having an animal that has a companion right off the bat, because, you know, just like you like to have your own human friends as well as coming home to see your beloved dog, they probably would like to see some of their own kind as well. So, you know. But yeah, they make great companions, and you know, all kinds of animals make great companions, and so it's, you know, it's important to think about all of them, including some of the older ones as well. You know. Oh. Okay. So, we're probably going to go through updates here one more quick time here, and then if we're not getting too much of new questions or people pop in or whatever, I might take a quick break here, and maybe we'll pick up the stream in a little while. I do have, again, some other things in the background that I do need to get done. At some point, I do need to shut my computer down and do some more cable management that I can't do with my computer up and running. So I'm going to be doing that here pretty soon. Actually, I'm going to take a quick break right now for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to come right back, actually. So hold on for just like 2 minutes here, and I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that, guys. Needed to take a quick break there. I think I missed a few comments. Thank you, Lola. Yeah, the flag's not quite done yet, but it is getting really close. I have a little bit of edging left to do on the skull with the silver paint, but it's pretty much done. And it's, I've been pretty satisfied with how it's turning out. So, yeah, it's almost there. When am I coming to Illinois? I mean, if that's what you mean, probably here pretty soon, actually. I have some things in the works. I can't divulge everything yet, but I do have some things in the works which are involving the state of Illinois, if that's what you're saying. But, yeah, I have so many plans, it's ridiculous. Like, I feel like if I really wanted to, I could probably pick up and just be gone for like a year. Like, if I were to implement every plan and sort of hit every location that I have mapped out one by one, I feel like I could be gone for a really long time. But, yeah. But this is definitely going to be probably the heaviest year of travel that we've ever done. In terms of the sheer amount of locations, not only of episodes, but of just travels in general. I'm really trying to hit up just as many different states, as many different cities, just going, again, places that I've never been before, and just trying to mark things off the list and find new and interesting things. So, yeah, it's going to be a crazy year of travels. So I got to reset something real quick here. Ooh. Well, that definitely did not work the way I thought it would. Okay, sorry. I had to reset the chat window really quick. All right. Hey there, Savannah. Welcome to the live stream. Good to have you. Just expanding my chat window here once again so I can actually see. So, yeah. Been a pretty good live stream today. We've gotten a good 2.5 hours of streaming in here so far. I may pop back on here in a little while. I'm not ending the stream right now, so don't worry. I'm going to be on here for just a little bit longer at least. And then I will at least be taking a break from the stream for a minute, and then I might come back on later tonight to hang out and chat for a little while. Really just depends on what everybody's doing, who's all interested in hanging out, and but I am going to again try and increase the number of streams that we're doing here and start doing it more often, especially in between travels, since we're going to be doing a lot more traveling this year. It's going to be, I think, a lot more interesting to be able to sit down like this and answer questions, talk about the travels, answer, behind the scenes questions, things like that, and really sort of walk you guys through the traveling process. So, do I not like to shave? I actually love to. Well, I don't like the act of shaving, but I don't like facial hair. So no, it's just I get busy and then I forget or I neglect. But no, I actually really don't like growing a beard at all. I'm pretty anti-facial hair. It just ends up always happening to me. But yeah, I like the podcast format, and that's sort of, like I said, what I'm trying to set up here is sort of like a podcast format where in between the travels, I can pop on here and talk about things which affected the travels, stories that happened behind the scenes, things that didn't happen on film, questions about upcoming travels, tips and tricks about traveling, things like that, where we can sort of do a sort of deep dive into, everything that encompasses not only myself, but the 539 experience in general, and the other people's lives that we sort of weave our way through along the way. So, yeah. So we'll be doing a lot more of these, and specifically, like I said, in between travels, and then hopefully on the road as well. So I'd like to do more of the streams, like I've done a few times, where we pop on in the hotel rooms at the end of the night to sort of do a quick just arrived stream and things like that, and maybe even expound upon that. Maybe do some I've been wanting to do some streams where we actually get to a location and go and walk around a little bit and maybe do some stuff, but I haven't really had any great opportunities pop out yet to do that, so that's probably going to be something that comes in the future here this year. So we'll be doing a lot of experimenting around with different types of formats with the live stream, so we'll get a lot of chances to try out the different formats and see what formats you all like best, and and let you guys have an input on that as well. So make sure to let me know what you all think. Make sure to leave in the comments, tweet at me, let me know whatever way is best for you, what you like the best, and I will try and do more streams like that. But like I said, it's just going to be a year of sort of experimenting around and seeing what everybody likes and seeing what works and what's fun. And but again, it seems like everybody's sort of enjoying the second channel the way it is. I haven't put a lot of effort into trying to bring the full episodes back on this channel, and I feel like in a lot of ways it's kind of worked better because we've been able to put more effort into the live streams, and I feel like there is a sort of resurgence of this sort of live streaming format, and I think it's something that people like, and so I kind of want to stick with it for a little while, and I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. That's all I can say at this point. And if it turns out in the future that it's going to be better just to bring back regular types of episodes and do live streams in another fashion, then we'll do that. But at this point, I'm just really liking the way the stream is working out. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate everybody that is here. Appreciate all your comments, all your considerations, all your information, your tips, your comments, and and your compliments, I mean. And so thank you all for being here. Thanks for joining the stream. It's been a fun stream to get back and hang out with all of you guys. And it's been something that I've been sort of putting off because I've been sick, and I've been trying to work my best, even though I was sick, to continue upgrading the command center and getting things back and set up from, obviously, the travels. I usually take a lot of my computer equipment with me so that I can do work on the road as well, and so I do have sort of a process when I get back of setting everything back up. And so it does take some time sometimes, and obviously it's not something that you just travel a few thousand miles and then you want to hop off the road out of the car and set everything back up and hit stream. It's definitely a process that it takes. There's definitely that period that even though you're not flying, there's that jet lag of you've been on the road, you've been out there, you've been concentrating on getting to where you're needing to go, and then you need to sort of take a step back for just a second and take everything in and relax and then get back to what you're used to. And so I don't see it taking this long always. Obviously, I've taken a few big trips here recently, and so especially with the incredibly long trips like California, well, not that I should say the trip out west, because it wasn't just California, but obviously that was a huge trip. I was gone the better portion of a month, and that took a lot out of me. And I think being one of the first major trips that I had done in a long time, really took a while to recover from. But this trip wasn't quite as stressful in terms of just how long I was on the road. So it wasn't quite as bad getting back. But yeah, I do like the normal episodes that I used to do on this channel. But I don't know. It's excuse me. It's one of those things. It's really neither here nor there for me. I don't know. Like I do miss them in a lot of ways, and I did really enjoy creating them. But at the same time, I'm not sure whether or not like I have a real strong desire to bring them back, but like certain parts of me want to, at least like for some trips, because I feel like especially the longer trips like California and things like that, had I been filming the entire time in the background, I could have gotten gotten a really amazing travel episode out of that, where I sort of showed the road and the changing of the country as you're traveling these thousands and thousands of miles across the United States, and seeing things change from farmland to desert to mountains, and then back to desert again, and then back to the mountains again, and and then to the ocean and all this, and down the coast, and it was a crazy adventure, and I really even though I'm really happy that I did it the way I did it, and I got that chance to sort of do it for the first time by myself and sort of experience it through my own eyes instead of having that always sitting on my back that I needed to be filming the entire way. I did kind of want it to be like that. I kind of had that desire to sort of just like, you don't worry about it the first time. You're going to have plenty of time to do this again, to do the same road again, even if you want to. And, just take this as an experience for yourself personally. And then next time you'll know exactly what you want to film for this other channel or for this other experience. And so I was happy the way I did it, but at the same time I felt like I did miss out on some opportunities to release some really amazing content to you guys. So it'll be something I do in the future. Hey there, Jen. Welcome. Good to have you. So yeah, in terms of the full-on second channel episodes, I'm just not sure what I'm doing, I guess, at this point. There will be other episodes besides what occurs on 539 Productions coming out at some point in the future. That is what I can say. Whether I will be starting a completely brand new third channel or whether I'll just bring them back to the second channel. I'm not really sure at this point. Hey there, how you doing? Chrissy, now from Yahusha? I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you here. Just discussing some of the travel plans and upcoming ideas here for the different channels. So good to have you join us and join in the conversation. But yeah, lots of cool changes and lots of cool content that's going to be coming this year. It's going to be fun for sure. That's the one thing I can guarantee. We're going to be doing a lot of streams and from a lot of different places with a lot of different people, and I can promise that it'll be interesting, and I can promise it'll be fun. I don't know exactly where and when everything's going to be happening. I don't know if I'm going to be opening a new channel or if I'm just going to add to this channel maybe as like a daily, some sort of daily content, not a daily vlog of any sorts, but maybe some sort of daily content. That might happen, or if I feel like I just want to retain this channel for streams only, maybe we'll do that and we'll start a third channel. Or there's always the option of doing streams in other places too. Am I planning to come to Oklahoma? Yeah, I would love to come to Oklahoma. Yeah, one of those, another state that I've never been to that I would love to mark off the list and do some exploring in, and was one of those places that I had intended to at least drive through when I was out west, but I did not end up choosing a course back home, which would have taken me in that direction. I was originally going to take a completely different route home and explore some other states that I had not ever been to before, and that ended up not working out due to my driver's license situation, and so I had to rush back home instead and get my license renewed and get all that situation taken care of before I could get back out on the road again. Get a P.O. box. I might be getting a P.O. box. I do have some people that have been requesting that I get a P.O. box here for a while, so I have been sort of waiting to grow to a certain point where I feel like it's like as much as I do appreciate everybody saying it, like I feel like I want to get it to a point like where if I get a P.O. box, I'm getting a steady, I guess, stream of mail from people that feel like they want to mail me, and things that I can maybe share with everybody in terms of doing like, I don't know, like unboxing videos or fan mail videos, or reading your letters, or showing stuff on stream that you guys send, stuff like that. I would love to do stuff like that, and I think that's really cool. But I don't want to jump the gun either. I don't want to like I said, play like I'm some huge celebrity or anything like that. So like I am sort of reluctant, yet I do want to. It's not that I don't want to give you guys that option, and I know a lot of you have generously offered to send me things via P.O. Box, and so I have not forgotten, and I will be doing that at some point here in the near future. It's just again a process. With everything on YouTube, I'm just very calculating and planning ahead and trying to make sure that I don't try to overextend myself, especially too soon. So, well, thank you, Ramon. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate how much you all support me and how much you guys enjoy the content that I put out. But yeah, it's just it'll happen. I can promise that it will happen. And it is something I'm working on. It's just, right time and right place, and but it will be soon. Definitely this year, maybe in the next few months. it'll happen. Do I have a drone? I do not. That is another thing I'm going to be picking up here soon. I've been wanting to get a drone. I actually had one ordered at a certain point. I was going to get the original DJI Mavic when it first came out, and for whatever reason, they ended up having a problem with my order, and I ended up getting frustrated and just getting the new Canon G7X back in the day when I got that, and so I ended up upgrading my camera instead of upgrading the drone. Well, getting a drone, I should say, in the first place, and so I ended up putting off the drone purchase, and so now I'll probably end up getting the new Mavic. I can't remember who they did sort of a collaboration with somebody to do a one inch sensor, which is really good for photography and really good for picture quality. And so I wanted to upgrade to purchase that drone probably. But that probably will happen maybe in the next few months too. I don't really know. It's not an incredibly integral part of what I do. I have used some drone footage in the past. When I was out in Idaho, I used some drone footage from Ryan, and that turned out really neat, and I really like it. But I really don't. I find it would be a really an interesting addition, but not necessarily 100% necessary. But I definitely will be trying to add it in. Hey there, Mania. Good to have you. Doing well. Home from the trip. And getting down to some editing and finally some streaming. Was really sick. Whatever I caught, we got from down there, because I'm pretty sure that I think Rob got it too. Because I remember seeing a post from them recently talking about Rob had all this chest problems and was hacking up stuff, and it was pretty much exactly what I was doing. So I think wherever we went, infected us with something. So. Hey there, Todd. Welcome to the live stream. Good to have you. So yeah, we apparently at least a few of us got infected with the sickness from Alabama. I don't know what it was, but it was not fun. It was like sort of like a deep chest cold, but not the flu. I didn't have any fever. Excuse me, I couldn't think of it for a second. I didn't have any fever or anything like that, but like it just terrible coughing and like a real deep chest cold. The Sparks are okay, but they're not exactly the quality that I'm going for. Yeah, but definitely a decent starter drone to get. But I think Mavic's about as low as I would go at this point. So, yeah. But yeah, in terms of getting the drone, it's not top priority, but it's definitely on the list of things that I'm going to be getting here soon. It's just a matter of figuring out when it works in. So it's just one of those things that I'm going to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the travels. I'm going to make sure it doesn't interfere with anything else. It can never cut into anything. Hey there, Gracie. Welcome. Good to have you. Happy to be doing an earlier live stream. Good to see some of the I don't know what to say. I don't want it to sound like some of the early day people. Like I know a lot of people aren't late nighters, and so I don't mean that obviously it's an insult in any way, but a lot of people out there just aren't up late, and so it's neat to be able to do the streams here during the day and be able to hang out with some of the people that are not up late. And again, going to be doing a lot more streams during the day like this from here on out. Definitely getting back in the swing of things with the second channel now. Finally, it's been a long time. I've pretty much been a whole year plus now process of reclaiming the second channel and making sure that it's functioning and making sure that it's not taking a huge toll on my primary channel. And yeah, so we've pretty much got everything back to almost where it needs to be. There's still some things in the background that I need to work on. There's still some things that I'm not quite satisfied with in terms of where I am in just the YouTube world in general, but nothing really serious at this point. So I'm actually quite happy with where we are and our growth. So wear the mask, yeah. Well, I don't know if mask would have protected me necessarily from. Well, it might have. Like we probably didn't get infected in any abandoned place. It was probably more from being in like a restaurant or something with people. Most of the abandoned places that we go to are fairly empty. My guess is we got sick probably either from the meetup or from the restaurants that we ate in. So there was a certain place that we went to that was abandoned that did have people in it, but I would say the likelihood that they were the ones that it could have been. You never know. But there's probably less people in the abandoned places that randomly had had people in them than was actually at the other places that we went. So we probably just got it from hanging out, honestly. I'm sure that there was probably just some sick as dog person at one of the restaurants we were at, and they didn't bother to stay home for the night and decided to either come there and hang out with all of the people in the restaurant, or they were in there cooking food. Who knows? I would hope that that wouldn't happen, but you never know. So yeah, I'm not assuming that we got it from our explorers as much as probably just our leisure time. Yeah, I think that was the first time I'd been sick, even with a cold, in about 4 years, 4.5 years, something like that. Like, yeah, it's been years since I've even had a cough. Like, maybe like a mild cough, something like that. Mold issues, yeah, oh yeah, definitely something to look out for. It's definitely a good idea to wear a mask. I'm not sure it would have prevented me from getting sick, but I should have been wearing a mask in some of those places. And in fact, I kind of intended to. It just sort of, just the way the travels ended up working this time, I was never actually able to get out to a store to buy a mask, which was pretty much my intention the entire way down. So it just, yeah, things just ended up happening. So. Am I missing things? I feel like I'm missing stuff. Hey there, Kate. Welcome. Good to have you here. So yeah, pretty much completely recovered from the sickness now by now. It's I've got a mild cough every once in a while. I have still taken some meds up till today, but I definitely don't feel like I felt before. I'm definitely not feeling sick. I feel pretty much back to normal, other than the occasional coughing. My voice isn't 100% back to normal, but I pretty much never shut up, so like I'm probably not doing myself any good service. And a lot of times when I'm by myself, I don't really have like an internal monologue. I find it somewhat helpful sometimes to sort of talk my way through certain things, if that makes sense, instead of just thinking about it. I find in certain situations it's helpful to sometimes talk things out. So like it sounds kind of weird. Say like it's not like you're really talking to yourself, but when I'm like pondering a maybe hard travel plan, as weird as that sounds, but it does get complex sometimes in terms of scheduling and all that. Like sometimes it's good to bounce things around out loud. It makes sense other than sitting there in your own head and trying to bounce around 100 things at the same time, to sort of slow yourself down sometimes and speak out loud. Okay, first we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, then we're going to move on to this. It actually can really help you to, your mind likes to speed, and your voice can be a real speed limit. And so to utilize the slowness of your voice to slow down your mind and allow it to, sort of fully comprehend and fully wrap itself around these ideas that you're trying to plan out, I find is really helpful a lot. And so unfortunately the other side of it is that you never end up shutting up, and so it's like you're always using your voice. But yeah, so slowly recovering from that, but pretty much almost back to 100%. So just another day or so away, and I won't be feeling it anymore. But it'll be nice to be completely done with it, and it's always a pain when you think you're almost there, and then you get to the point where you're ready to start streaming, and then it feels like you lost your voice again, so you know that if you start streaming, you're just going to quit in half an hour, and that's pretty much where I've been the last few days. I've come to the point where it's like I have the energy, I have the desire to stream, and I get to that point, and it's like I know that I have about half an hour of talking into me before my voice is so dead that I can't do anything anymore. So it's just like, you have to give up. There's nothing you can do at that point. You might as well not start, because it's just going to be more detrimental, and people are going to want to talk and want to hang out and want to do things, but like at the same time, you're not going to be able to stick around to do it. So you might as well not disappoint anybody, and just wait until you're fully ready. And even though it sucks, it's it's the smart thing to do, though. It's important to put health first, because what it ends up doing if you don't put your health first is it ends up causing more issues later and causes you to take more time off, and then you're just that much further back. So it's like you might as well just take 2 more days, so that you can have like a full-on week of work, Yeah, and the lucky thing about working in a job like this, working in social media and in photography is, I can restructure my days so that I'm still productive even when I'm sick. So, even though I'm stuck, not really being able to travel, I can be in the command center, I can be painting, I can be editing, I can, just sit back, relax at the computer and still be productive in an office type scenario, as opposed to being productive in a travel type scenario or in a speaking constantly to a camera on stream type scenario. So I will say it is nice to be able to restructure on the fly, which is why I encourage people out there that, if you're interested in the social media game and you want to give it a go, there's a lot of room out here for people, and it's been an experience that has been both the toughest thing that I've ever done and one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done. So if you think you got it in you and you think you can treat it like a full-time job until you're successful, then I say go for it. Yeah. Absolutely true, Gracie. Yeah, and the problem with that is that's exactly what I do every time. I'm surprised I can still talk at this point in my life. From doing social media now for going on 4 years, and then before that being into music and singing and a band, and then working in rock photography obviously didn't help. Being at crazy loud rock shows every night that were so loud that you have to yell to talk to people, even if they're 2 feet away from you. It is not the best thing on your voice or on your ears for that matter. It's probably a miracle that I can hear. I mean, yeah. I've not been too nice to my voice or ears over my life, so I guess I should feel lucky that I still have anything left at all. But I'm trying to be better in the future. So it's just a process. But I don't think anybody, very few of us at least, really realize until we get a little bit older what exactly we're doing to ourselves. And then you realize it and you try to make the best amount of corrections as possible without severely affecting your lifestyle, and try to find a healthy medium. And that's kind of where I am, I'm trying to find a healthy medium of the things that I like and the things that are healthy, and it can be both tough and rewarding at the same time, because you find out better and healthier ways to live, but at the same time, there's things that are unhealthy, but you enjoy it, it's just like loud music, I know that putting a screaming pair of headphones into my ears is probably not the best thing for my ears, but at the same time, it is very good for my head, because music's therapeutic and it's good for us, but it's also not good for my ears. And standing 2 feet away from a speaker that's meant to broadcast music to 5,000 fans while a rock star stands on top of the speaker with a guitar blasting the music into my ears while I take photographs is probably not good for my ears, but it's probably good for my photography career. But so there's gives and takes. But at the same time, I can't give that up completely, because that's just part of who I am. You don't give up your culture completely, I don't think, ever. You might make adaptations for your own health, but it's just a process. That's all I can say about that. I feel like I'm becoming boring now. At any rate, when am I gonna sing? Yeah. Yeah, it's not necessarily. I like the idea around 1,000. But we'll probably pass the 1,000 here before that happens. I'm assuming we'll pass the 1,000 here relatively shortly. I haven't mentioned the second channel very much on the primary channel, and a lot of the subs I think came from the trip down to Alabama. So if I start mentioning it more in the upcoming episodes, we might get some new people in here. But in terms of the singing, though, to get back to that, because I'm sort of straying away, it's going to be a process, because I first of all, I want something that's, like I said, it's probably going to be all music that I write myself, and pretty much none of that I've started to write. I have literally, the first time I put any pen to paper was, I think, a few weeks ago, and since then I've written maybe a few lines of things which I feel are relevant to my life right now. And so when I get to a point where I have multiple songs that I feel like makes an album that makes sense, I don't want to release a random collection of songs. Maybe if I just released them one by one as just individual songs and not part of an album. But if I make it in the form of an album, like I've sort of tried to do in the past, from my days of being in a band, then I want it to be a single idea. I feel like that's what an album is an idea in the end. It's a collection of songs which complete an idea, and not just a random assortment of songs, unless it's like a, best of sort of album. And I'm definitely have not been in the music industry long enough to make a best of anything of mine. So, yeah. Thank you, Kate. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I spent a few years doing photography of different rock bands. I've gotten the chance to meet, hundreds of bands and hundreds of rock stars, and had a lot of really amazing experiences. Some of the craziest, most interesting people that you could ever imagine, with some really amazing stories, and even some other celebrities and whatnot that I've gotten to meet just because of that. Yeah, people that just randomly come on tour with different rock bands and there's different types of tours. If you are into the rock world at all, you might be familiar with different styles of tours and different types of musical events. And so, sometimes it's not always music. Sometimes they'll come on with different acts or different types of celebrities or whatever that they'll bring around with them on tour. And so I've had a lot of really crazy stories, really crazy experiences photographing these people. And yeah, I've told a few stories here and there. I haven't gotten really deep into the whole rock and roll side of things and that side of my life and whatnot, but I've told a few stories from here and there in the streams. But yeah, if anybody's ever interested, let me know and I'll go over some of that stuff again. I've met, I would say, a decent amount of the bigger rock bands out in the scene today. Some of the older ones, the really super, super famous, I haven't had a chance. Some of them I have, but I've photographed quite a bit of the current people on the rock scene. Some of them know me still. Some of them don't have any idea who I am. Some of them don't remember me. Some of them do remember me. I don't know all of them. Some of them, again, follow me still on Twitter. Some of them don't. It's sort of neither here nor there. It's just a part of my life. I definitely did not become famous in any way because of it. But I did gain some somewhat friends for at least a little bit in the rock industry, and that was fun. Got to know some really cool bands, and a lot of down-to-earth people that I was surprised that even remembered me later, and I thought that was kind of cool. So, yeah. So yeah, first copy of the album's yours. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever sell albums or anything like that. Maybe I might have offer some music for download on iTunes or things like that. I don't think I'll ever sell any physical CDs. I'm sort of anti-physical medium anyway. Anything CD, DVD, Blu-ray, scary to say, but floppy disk. If it has a physical medium that you have to buy in a store, I'm not really pro that. I was sort of done with the discs after DVDs. I never bought a Blu-ray once in my life, and at least not for me personally. I think I've bought Blu-rays as gifts for other people when they wanted a movie or something, just to be nice. But I've never physically purchased a Blu-ray. I've never purchased any physical form of an HD anything. I've only purchased it through download or through digital streaming services, and that's sort of what I support at this point. And so I don't know that the idea of working with a normal like recording studio, or not recording studio, but a record label, excuse me, is probably something I probably would never do. I'd probably keep it fairly independent. So in terms of like physical media, whether you can go to the store and buy a CD of my music, I don't know whether that'll happen, but being able to maybe download it on the future to your iTunes account to listen in the car and on your iPhone, maybe. But there's definitely going to be some music coming up soon. So, yeah. It's just always... I mean, music is just one of those things you never can rush. If you rush it, you ruin it. That's the only thing. It's got to flow naturally. And not to say you can't like sit down and concentrate on it either. Obviously I could sit everything else down and at least for the most part try to concentrate on writing, on creating an album, on making the music, via different instruments or whatever I'm going to use here, whether it's guitar, ukulele, whatever it might be, as well as singing. Obviously I could mark out that time and separate that out so that I have that time to do that, as opposed to anything else. But at the same time, there's only so much of that you can do. You still have to have that premise and that idea, this sort of overarching idea of where this album is going, or where these ideas are going, or where the songs are going. So it'll still go at its own pace no matter how much you push it. But at a certain point there is some stuff that I could do to make it happen a little bit quicker, and I probably will do that in the future here, to give myself some time to like sit down and write and and part of the trip down to Alabama, aside from just meeting up with the guys and having fun and doing that stuff, I am trying to bulk up on my material. I'm trying to create a lot more so that I can have more time in between travels to spend on things like this, to spend on things like music and other avenues of creating. I never intended to only have one avenue of creating on social media. I've always intended to spread myself out in terms of having a second channel, doing all the Instagram work, doing different social media platforms like Twitch and things like that. And so this is definitely part of that. And getting out there on the road for 539 Productions and traveling more is actually, in a lot of ways, planning for the future so that I can start to release more content in other areas. Because, again, like I was just saying, if I have, like I have right now, pretty much almost a month's worth of content to release to you guys, to say that I can take a few days here or there to focus on my music, or to focus on the streams, or to focus on finishing the command center, or whatever it is that I need to do to move forward in this career, that I can do that. And so that's basically where we're at right now. I'm settling down into this part of my YouTube career, this part of my experience. I'm getting to that point where I'm capable of expanding and getting to those things that I've been wanting to get to, but just haven't had the ability. I might have missed that, Todd. My apologies if I missed a question. Oh, was the trip everything that I expected? I don't think that any trip really is anything that you ever expect it. No matter how much you plan out a trip, it just happens as it happens, and so it's always just going to be a mixture of both. And it definitely was. We had things that we didn't expect to get to that we ended up getting to do, and that was really awesome. And then we had things that we completely expected to do that we never got to do, and that was really neither here nor there, because either way it was a really successful, really fun trip. And so I definitely I wouldn't say there was any disappointments. There wasn't anything incredibly huge that we left behind. I got to almost everything, but we did miss a few things that that we had wanted to get to, a few buildings that we would have wanted to check out that just didn't end up working out, and that, I guess at the very least, it's something that we can look forward to getting back to in the future, and would definitely not call it a disappointment in any way, though. I would say the only way I would have been potentially disappointed were to have gone down there and accomplished nothing. And I don't think that even going down there, I don't think I could have possibly gone down there and accomplished nothing. Not only because, we're all creative people, we would have found something to film no matter what we have done. And on top of that, just going down there and meeting up with guys, making those connections, getting to know them, that in itself was an accomplishment, both personally and professionally. And they're like I said, a good group of guys, good collection of channels to be in contact with. They make great content. They put out a lot of content. They act in a capacity the way I act as a YouTuber, as in putting out content on a regular basis and continuing to do it as a ongoing series that could potentially, again, like I said before, cross paths again, where we could work together again. And so I love connecting with people like that, really, no matter how much content we end up making, because in the end, really what you made there was a really strong connection and a good friend, and a good bunch of friends that I can contact in the future, whether I need something, whether I have a question, whether I need advice on where to go from here, or whether I need a buddy to go along with me on a certain experience or explore that I do. And so yeah, I wasn't really worried about it in the least when I went down. Whether I went down there and nothing went as planned, or whether I went down there and everything went as planned, I was just sort of happy to do it at all, And I feel like you've got to be willing to take those risks as a YouTuber and as a social media, as somebody who works in social media. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of risk. I could have went down there and accomplished almost nothing and still been really happy with it, because again, I made those connections that I'll now have for a lifetime. These will be people that I can contact for the rest of my foreseeable YouTube career. They're nice people, and we all got along real well, and I don't feel like they're people that I'll ever have any issues with or problems with. And so I'm definitely looking forward to getting together with them again and having them as resources, and acting as a resource on their behalf too, if they were to ever need anything from me. So I would say I don't really work with channels that 100%. I not that I'm against it, but a lot of the channels that I work with don't 100% mimic what I do. I enjoy working with channels that are along the same lane, but not quite the same. And I think that's why I really enjoyed working with the guys, was because, it's like we cross, but yet we don't. It's like we can work together without butting heads. We can work together without worrying about stealing each other's content. It's like we're very similar, but we're not the same, and it kind of makes it fit so well together. And I thought, again, like when I was out west, like when I did the episodes down in Vegas, and around the Nevada area, what was really neat about that was that, it had been years and years since I'd done anything like that, and most of my exploring had been just abandoned places, and I got to meet up with a really amazing, ghost hunter out there as well, and have him take me and show me his side of things and how he does stuff. And I feel like that's part of the process, because my channel is not just about urban exploration in general. It's about adventure travel, and sometimes adventure travel is about letting people out there who live in these places and who are native to these places, like the West and like the South and all this, to lead you around and show you what their lives are like and what their exploring is like and what their places are like. And I think that's a very much a part of what I'm trying to do. And I definitely would never consider myself just an urban explorer. And I don't consider 539 Productions to be an urban exploring channel. It's definitely an adventure travel channel. And that's how I would explain that type of thing. I greatly enjoy having that experience where I do these collaborations with channels which are, although in a lot of senses, an urban exploration and travel channel, they are also very greatly different from what I do. And so, it's actually something that I look for when I work with people. And I think that if I just found people that did exactly what I do, I don't think it's bad. Like, I definitely want to work with people that are further away from what I do and then closer to what I do. I don't necessarily... I don't really necessarily care as long as they're serious about what they do and they do it to the best of their ability. And so that's sort of like, my thing. You got to be a good person. You got to work hard on what you are creating. You got to be serious about being in social media or in YouTube. And, I've got to feel like it's something that is going to benefit us both. In one way or another, as a career, obviously not in my personal life. Obviously, like I've said numerous times, a lot of these people I call my friends, and I'm not necessarily always looking for a gain by hanging out with my friends. But at the same time, in terms of, serious channels that I work with out there, I look for people that I feel like, have a future in what they're doing and are working hard to accomplish that. And I would say that most of the people all the people that I've worked with have a very serious understanding of what they do and what their intentions are. So, that's the way I would put it. But I would never say that the people that I've worked with are always incredibly similar to what I do. But that's definitely what I look for, though. I want people to stretch me, and I want to learn, and I want to, experience different ways of doing things, whatever it may be. Just like going down to in the middle of the abandoned mine and doing, ghost hunting with Xavier and holding the dowsing rods. Have I ever done it on my channel? No. But it was just, it was fun, though. It was something fun to try for the channel and give it a shot and see what everybody thinks of it. And, and then move on from there, if anything defines my channel moving here on forward, it's definitely going to be that. It's just doing fun and unique adventure travel that is always pushing the boundaries, but at the same time not pushing too far away from that theme of adventure travel. I want to always be pushing the boundaries of that format on the 539 Productions channel. And so I would say that would definitely be something that'll happen in the future again. I'll definitely be working with other types of channels, maybe other types of travel channels that maybe even have nothing to do with urban exploration, or maybe just straight up adventure, I've done some stuff before, like nature type things, like the hiking in the waterfalls and the streams and things like that, where it's really nothing to do with any type of urban environment or anything haunted, but it's just straight up adventurous. I've talked about doing caves and things like that in the future, where we can do some really extreme types of travel, but it's not necessarily, again, anything abandoned or anything haunted or supernatural or anything like that. Just really amazing places on Earth to travel, which most people don't get to travel to. I've done, like I said, in past streams, I've done not very much, but I have done some professional caving in the past and gone in some caves which are not tourist caves. They're hard hat, crawl on your stomach, real danger type caves. And I would love to do some stuff like that on the 539 Productions channel as well. So we're always just going to be pushing those boundaries on what it means to do adventure travel. And but I think it'll be for the good. So let's see, did we pass? Wow, we did. I was actually looking to see if we maybe passed the 3-hour mark, and we were actually almost ready to pass the 3.5-hour mark. It is starting to get a little bit late here, and if we're going to do sort of an interim here, again, I'm not really quite sure if I'm going to come back on later or not. I might do a late night stream tonight. I may just decide to buckle down and finish up with... I have an episode that I'm finishing editing right now. Well, not now, obviously. I'm talking to all of you guys right now. But before I started streaming, I was working on another episode from the Alabama trip. So that is something I need to get back to, too. And I do need to eventually shut down the computer so that I can reroute the final few cables here so I can get the command center... the cable management done so that everything's nice and neat and camera worthy in case I want to add in extra angles and things like that. And also just so it's easier when I'm traveling to sort of take things apart real quick, take the pieces I need on the road and then bring them back and set it all back up and be ready to go at a moment's notice so that I can not take long breaks. But again, the break this time was only long because of the sickness. I actually was pretty much wanting to get down to streaming days and days and days ago, but it just did not work out, and there was no way I was going to make it work out as much as I tried. I mean, I was taking every medication I thought that could help me to avoid the symptoms, that I could have the energy and not be coughing and not have a dry, raspy, nasty sounding voice. And no matter what I tried, no matter how hard I tried, no matter when I tried to do it, I was just always felt like crap. And it was like enough that I felt well enough to be able to do office work, to be able to do some editing, to be able to get some stuff done, to be able to get some painting done, but to really concentrate and talk to you guys on this level, to do 3.5 hours straight of just talking to you guys, it was just never going to happen. So, yeah, that's the way that is. Good night, Emmy. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, I'm not going to be on here too much longer either. I do need to at least take a break longer than the last one. I know the last one was not 2 minutes. I'm sure it was more than 2 minutes. Oh, we just dipped in. Whoo. I'm sorry if we just took a dive there. I just noticed my bitrate just dove to almost nothing. So I don't know if we're having some stream problems right now, but my software is freaking out. So, yeah, hopefully everybody can still see me and hear me fine. It's starting to... No, it's not. It's just all looking bad. It's sort of going up and down and up and down. Yeah, I'll try and remember to do that later. I'll put up a tweet on my Twitter account over at Matt Isaac for like a group name or whatever if anybody wants to vote on it. So, but like I said, either way, I'll let you guys decide on that. And like I said in the past, if anybody wants me to make anything or Photoshop anything and stuff like that, I can always do that too. So, no worries, Emmy. Yeah, again, really appreciate you being here. Thank you. And again, to all of you out there, my apologies. According to my software, my stream is crashing right now. It says my bitrate is down to like way into negative not HD range. Like right now, it just popped it back up to around the 1080p range, around 5000K. But it is just all over the board in in bitrate right now. So I don't know what kind of stream that I'm broadcasting right now. But my apologies if it's really bad. But I think at this rate, while it's sort of leveling off and giving me a little bit of a good bit rate, I am going to go ahead and bid you all adieu. And like I said, I might pop back on a little bit later around midnight or so and do a late night stream if I'm feeling up to it. And if anybody wants to come and hang out. But otherwise, thanks to everybody who has joined me here in the stream tonight. And I will be back on very soon. If not tonight, then I will be back on in the next few days. So appreciate you all being here. And yeah, again, my apologies for the technical difficulties that seem to be going on right now. But I'm not seeing that it's going to be, well, it may be solved now, but at any rate, it's going to be easier to get on again at a time when there's a lot less traffic online. Traffic around here is going to start picking up from here on out as most of the country is getting off of work and coming home and streaming their own TV shows and other things right now. So American internet traffic is just going to continue to go up here for the next few hours, so it may just end up getting worse and worse. So, but at any rate, that being said, I'm going to take off for a little bit here. I will notify anybody on Twitter if I decide to go late night tonight. Otherwise, I will just keep you all updated as to what's coming up here in the future. And many thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the thoughts, all the compliments, all the kind comments, and well wishes. I appreciate you all. Love you all. Thanks for joining me here tonight for our first stream back at the command center, and looking forward to the next one with maybe a little bit more completed of a command center and hopefully a little bit more functional of a camera setup. So thank you all for being here, and I will see you all in the next stream.